I used to be not horrible, but I was a miserable, just sort of like, why me sort of person. One of them, feeling sorry for yourself all the time. Why have I got to have the bad art? Why can't I be this guy? Why has he got a better job than me? It's like, no, just now it's, you're lucky. Because I've had 2 friends with heart conditions that have died. So it's like, you were lucky. I got 3 lovely kids, lovely wife. I got a good job. It could be way worse. Way worse.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just, you don't need negativity. You want to have a go at something, go and have a go on that.
Experience Real Podcast.
Are we on, yeah?
Well, yeah, we can do.
Yeah, whatever you want, mate, yeah.
Well, I you know.
You try to me stick these on?
Yeah, go
Oh,
for it.
proper professional look.
Turn them down a bit, they're a bit noisy. Like, we was messing around in here the other day. We had the boys in here like we were.
Oh, check that out.
Yeah, it's nice, isn't it? We were trying to like stream us watching the UFC in here.
Right.
But fuck, it was harder work than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, so much harder. Like, because just the streaming quality, like I didn't have the internet in here. I thought I had, like, and
Yeah.
it's so much more difficult than just filming a podcast. Like,
But people, what I noticed when me and Lily we done a fight companion once.
yeah,
So we were just in Lily's living room, same, my phone on the table recording us, and we were watching Klitschko versus Joshua.
oh, cool, man.
And the amount of feedback we had from that, loads of people have said since, when's the next time we're going to do a companion?
Really?
Yeah, because I was asking him questions. Like, if I ask you questions in this, I apologise. I'm used to
Yeah, mate, it's good. It's role reversal, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like I was asking Lily, what's he feeling now? No, is he getting in the ring? And so, because he's been there, he's done it. Not at that level, obviously, but whereas I haven't actually fought myself. So I was asking those type of questions, and
Yeah.
people were finding it really, really sort of entertaining and educational to a certain extent. You know what I mean? Because it's like a little insight. So
You never know what that feeling is, do you? Because I'm an outsider to it all. I've never done anything like that. I appreciate it from the outside, but you never actually know what it's like, do you?
like I've been around it all my life through my brother. He was like a Welsh champion amateur boxer, 80-odd fights, and so I've always been used to go training with him. But because of my heart condition, I've always known that I can't fight. I'm never going to be able to do this. So like we go with army trips in the school when we were like 15, and I always knew I'm never going to get in the army, can't be a policeman, so those sort of things. But yeah, I've always been around it. So I thought, right, I want to be involved, so I've got to look at another avenue.
Yeah.
And I've gone down about 5 or 6 and I've been involved numerous different ways in the sport, which is, like I say, whether I would have been a fighter, I don't know. But
do you think, sorry, like touching back on your heart condition,
go on.
was it more like medically they wouldn't allow you, or was it like you that wouldn't?
No, I would never. There's not a doctor in a land that would give me a
Never
medical
pass a
to fight.
medical.
No
no.
chance, no.
So what is the actual heart condition?
Well, I was born with something called pulmonary atresia, which is a valve that connects your heart to lungs. I'm not a doctor, so the valve that connects your heart to lungs. When you're born, you've got sort of a temporary one, which after about 3 or 4 days, the body eats it up, and you actual valve starts working like it should. But I was born without one, or partially formed one, so it wasn't working basically. So they sent me home when I was born, and the midwife came to see my mother. I was a couple of days old, and I was blue pretty much. My lips were blue, my fingers were blue, and the midwife said, straight in. So I had like a blue light ambulance all the way to Bristol. And then at a week old, I had my first operation. I had 2 holes in the heart as well. So just why not, innit? Throw it in there.
Yeah, just like through.
But yeah, I had that
Fuel
when
on
I was a
fire.
week old. And then when I was 3, I had open heart surgery, straight down the middle, chest open. Because I was big enough to have it done.
Yeah.
And they said that would probably last about 10 years or so before I have to have it done again. But it lasted me 23. I had it done 7 years ago, was the last one I had. So
But that was scary stuff for your mum at the time, was it?
yeah, because I remember, like, most people can't remember when they were like 3.
Yeah.
I mean, but because something so big happened, I think that's why I remember specific stuff from from when I was 3.
You can still got like some vivid memories of it.
I can remember being in hospital. I remember my father taking me to Bristol Zoo. I remember being in the ward. I remember lots of things. I remember my nurses, which was absolutely crazy because I was in hospital 7 years ago in Bristol again. Obviously, this is 20 odd years removed from when I was 3. So I was in hospital laying there in the night, and a nurse walked in. She must have been a 60 odd. And she went, "Hiya, David, you don't remember me, do you?" I said, "No." She goes, "My name's Pat. I looked after you when you was 3, she said. I said, "How do you remember me?"
Yeah,
and she said, "Well, David Owen from Swansea." She said, so I thought, it can't be that many of them with heart surgeries. So she come in. I don't remember her, but I remember the other nurse, Helen, and I said about her, and she said, yeah, she told me she lives in Scotland and stuff. So that sort of reinforced that I hadn't made those memories up. They were actual. Yeah, it was crazy. But yeah, 7 years ago, when I was 3, I didn't really know.
Yeah.
They just make you get up. And as a kid, you get up, like, oh, that hurts. But then you just carry on.
Less worry about it.
Yeah, kids don't care. And my father said, when I was 3, I was on a ward full of men. My father said, "Why is he on a ward?" She goes, "Because he will get up, it'll hurt him, but he'll carry on. Whereas adults go, oh, that hurts, I ain't doing that again." So by putting children on there, it shows the adults, oh, if he can do it, I better do it as well.
Yeah, that's pretty wild, isn't it? That's a good bit of insight, isn't it?
Yeah, and 7 years ago, I didn't have any kids on the ward, but it was, you know what's happening then. Don't know, when you're 3, you don't know. You're going in. But I had just had my daughter then, so she was 3 months old, I think. I was going in, knowing what can happen. It's quite scary, but you just got to, well, there's nothing I can do about it. If I don't have it, I'll die eventually. And if I do have it, then fingers crossed, it'll be fine, and on we go. So yeah, you've got to sign forms. It is a bit freaky. You have to do it in most operations, but the night before, my surgeon came in, and I said, "What's the chances of actually dying?" Well, and they are so cold, purposely, because they don't want to build a relationship with their patients in case you die, and they feel bad. So they are just like, "There's the facts. I'll see you in the morning." And he was like, "It's about 97%." He said, "Nothing in life you can't 100% anything in life." He said it's about 97%, and you've got to factor in the babies, the old people, everything in with that. He said, so he said, "That's as good as you're going to get." I went, "I'll do me." And
pretty good odds, isn't it?
It's not too bad, yeah. It kind of relaxed me a little bit, but then you've got to sign a form saying, if I die, then I die, and I could have a stroke.
Yeah, that's a pretty serious moment, isn't it?
Yeah, in the night, and like everyone had gone back to the hotel by then, so I'm in a room on my own going, well, it is what it is.
Yeah,
so, I mean,
God's hands now, like, sort of thing, isn't it?
There's not a lot you can do about it. You've got to have it done. There's nothing you can do. So
yeah,
it was what it was, and it was rough. I had a couple of complications afterwards. So you had old people there who were having the operation and going home 3 days later. I'm the youngest person in the ward, and I was in for 11 days. I had collapsed lung infection, chest infections. So I was pretty rough at one point.
Yeah.
But yeah, it could have been worse. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It could have been worse. So I am thankful. And it changed my outlook on life, and then sort of pushed me to do what I do now, basically. I thought after that, when you got your own mortality staring at you in the face thinking, this could be it, then when you come out the other side, it's just a case of, I don't care what anyone thinks. If I want to do something, I'm gonna give it a go. What's the worst that could possibly happen?
Yeah,
I don't succeed at it, but I had a go.
I respect that so much, because it's so easy in it to pigeonhole yourself into this is who I am. Whereas like you have something like that, all them people that you're worried who are judging you about doing what you love, they're not there when you got to sign that piece of paper that night, are they?
They don't matter. Anyone, and I've come round to that negative people, I'll just cut them out now.
Yeah.
They could be friends for 12 years. If you're going to be that guy, what are you doing that for? Oh, stupid that is. You're out. I don't need that. I just want positive people. I used to be not horrible, but I was a miserable, just sort of like, why me sort of person. One of them, feeling sorry for yourself all the time. Why have I got to have the bad art? Why can't I be this guy? Why has he got a better job than me? It's like, no, just now it's, you're lucky, because I've had 2 friends with heart conditions that have died. So it's like, you were lucky. I got 3 lovely kids, lovely wife. I got a good job. It could be way worse. Way worse. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's just, you don't need negativity. You want to have a go at something, go and have a go. And that's why I started a podcast. And I had friends who were friends of school friends going, oh, Joe Rogan's here, they're taking the piss. And I just be, whatever, boys. I don't care. Like, because nobody else was doing it then in the Swansea area. And I think it was just because he was new.
Yeah, mate, you're always going to get it in you, I think. Exactly. I think no matter what you do, you're going to be looked as if you're stupid by stupid people.
Exactly. they are the ones that are scared to do anything outside of the box.
Yeah.
They'll go to their 9 to 5s, come home, go to the pub, because everybody else goes to the pub on a Friday, and that'll be them forever.
Sheeple.
Exactly. Yeah. Instead of giving this a go, I'll have a go at that. I've always loved doing that. Let's go. Like, I was in a party and with one of my mates, and I was drunk. And Chris Jenkins, boxer, I'm friends with Chris. He's very good friends with my cousin. He wrote on Twitter, does anybody want to be fancy themselves as a boxing writer? Contact. He was a guy called John Scriven at the time. And I was drunk. I was like, I was good at English in school, which was my favourite subject. So I was like, I can write. So I just messaged him, I'll do that, drunk. Next morning, the guy messaged me, and I was like, oh, I forgot about that. But I thought, I'll give it a go. So I done a test piece, and he was like, brilliant. So I started writing for his website, covering live boxing shows, as having a media pass to go to these Welsh boxing shows, Gavin Gwynn, all them. Started having that. Then I led on to writing for a magazine, a boxing magazine, and doing the MMA show. So I was getting Cage Warriors passes. I interviewed Jack Shaw when he was still an amateur. Done a big double spread piece on him.
Yeah.
And it just snowballed. And I was like, that's all because of one tweet I sent going, I can do that. Or I'll give it a go. And look where it led. It led to that. And then I thought from that, I'm going to do a podcast. I fancy that. Me and Lily used to sit in the gym. At the time, I was training amateur boxers. We'd sit in the gym for about half hour after every session because Lily was training as a pro in the same gym. And we talk about boxing. Welsh boxing, the normal, like, because Lily was, at no time, he was challenging for Welsh titles on the Welsh boxing scene.
Yeah.
So all the fighters I was watching, like Gavin Gwynn as he was starting, turning pro, Morgan Jones, all those, Di Davis and Merthyr, they were all fighting, and Lily was in that group as well. So we talked about them, and I said, do you fancy doing a podcast? You know Paul Daly from Top Class Boxing?
Yeah.
Me and him were supposed to do it originally. We were going to do a podcast, and we just couldn't get times together. So in the end, I just said, do you want to do one? He was like, yeah. Do you know what you're doing? I said, no. But I'll work it out.
That's the joys of this, though, isn't it? It doesn't have to be.
There's no rules. There's no real rules. Like, this is a fantastic setup. This is awesome. This is what I wanted, but we never ended up going. We sort of our own worst enemy, me and Lily, because we so laid back, and it was just like, we had Enzo McInally agreed to come on the show for about a year before he actually come on. He just never pulled the trigger. Jack Shaw, his father, Shaky, they've all agreed to come on the show. Gary Locker, all of them. But we never pulled the trigger on most of them. And
it's arranging the time, isn't it?
It is, yeah. And Lily, being Lily, fighting in every sport he can get his hands on. He's always in a training camp. He's always fighting someone or sparring someone, Rocky Morgan. So it was hard. But we had a good run. But that was another, like I say.
Is it making a comeback?
We never say never. Don't know what I mean. Never say never. It could possibly make a comeback. Yeah, I can't see why not. It's just a schedule thing, I think.
Yeah.
And COVID killed us a fair bit. Because although Zoom is a great way to do it, and I've done a couple over Zoom with Kieran Gibbons and stuff, it's not the same. It's like this now. I
totally agree.
Have a proper chat. It's not the same because you can get distracted by the TV or the kids running around. It's just not the same. And I'd rather a more personal product where me and Lily are having a laugh than over Zoom where he cuts out his internet shit, or
the delay as well. And I did one Zoom one, and the quality of it just came out so crap. I felt terrible, but I literally deleted it. I was like, I can't. I don't even feel comfortable putting it out because I just didn't feel.
Yeah.
There's just no back and forth because it was like question, awkward silence, talking, question, awkward silence.
And you ask a question or you go to reply and then they come back in and you're talking over each other. It's just an absolute nightmare. And I understand. Like, I had a couple of good Zoom ones on there, but it's not the same. So I think probably when all this COVID bollocks stops, we'll get it going again. When we can get in a room with people and actually talk.
Pull the trigger on them guests, get them in. Eh?
Yeah. We've got so many lined up. Honestly, we had loads. Always people, oh yeah, you'll come on, and we just never.
That was one of my biggest worries, mate. When I first started this, I was like, who's going to want to come and sit down and do this? And then, to be honest with you, I got to the point now where it's like, I'm not turning people down, but I'm saying like 4 or 5 weeks away.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because it's like, because at one point I was doing 2 or 3 a week, and then I was just like, oh my God, like you're doing one night, you're editing in the next, and all your week's gone just doing it.
Yeah,
you know
and it's more than, obviously this is a more professional setup than what me and Lily had. So you've got the editing and all those problems. So whereas we just sort of half-assed it and see where we
well,
can
I
go.
don't know, like it's good doing just the audio though, isn't it? Because a lot of people listen rather than watch anyway.
Yeah, like that's how I got into podcasts. It's like I said to you before we started, driving all the time in work.
Yeah.
And that's I couldn't name you one song in the top 10 of the charts now. I don't listen to the radio. I haven't got a clue. It's all I'm just trying to find the next decent podcast to listen to. So yeah, it's definitely, I think it's going to kill radio. It's just as simple as that.
I think so. It's the same as well. Like when I'm sitting in the house now watching like stuff on the telly. Don't get me wrong, I watch a bit of like fake telly, I call it, or reality TV or whatever with my missus. But it's not the same as listening to like actual people talking about real subjects and things you're interested in.
Yeah,
like I feel like it's killing off TV in it for me anyway.
Definitely, like the amount I've learned just listening to podcasts. Like I've gone through a stage lately. Is one called Real Narcos.
All right,
and it's it just tells you the life stories about certain drug dealers, and it's talking to the police officers that investigated them and arrested them. So you're talking, there's 5 episodes on Escobar, then there's 3 on a guy called Matt Ballesteros, who I'd never heard of, but he was huge.
Yeah.
And the last one, it was like a 7-part podcast about El Chapo. And it's brilliant. And those I'm learning, although it's not going to benefit me in my life.
Depends what you get into, mate.
Yeah, unless I go on a quiz and Escobar questions pop up. But it's just extra knowledge about, all right, stuff not necessarily you're going to use, but it's good to have extra knowledge, and that's what I want in life now, these days. Now I'm getting a bit older, I just want to learn more about loads of different things.
I'm exactly the same, mate. I was talking to one of my mates the other day about how, like, years ago I used to be, like, say, driving down the road with the boys on a Sunday, hungover and whatever, being at McDonald's or something, and you're passing someone, like, running down the road in the rain, and you're like, oh, fucking hell, look at him. What the hell is he doing with his life?
I know.
Yeah. But that, like, it's mad how your perception changes, because now I'm that person thinking, like, looking at the people in the car going, what the hell are you doing? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Like, I see the people on a Sunday on Facebook going, oh, I was so drunk last night, I'm hanging today, and thinking, I couldn't think of anything worse, to be honest with you.
Mate.
I would rather do a shift in work than be sat in the set hungover, without the shadow of a doubt.
It's weird how that happens, isn't it? Because I used to have to force myself to stay in, whereas now I'd have to force myself to go out.
Yeah, I think it's just
age,
old
age.
age.
Yeah, don't say that.
I know, I'm feeling older all the time. Like, now my daughter's 7, 8 this year, and I'm turning to my father. Like, she's playing all this music, and I'm like, this music's shit. And I'm thinking, that's what my father used to think back when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Like, the other day, I read something somewhere, that the 90s now to kids these days, or like the 70s were when I was a kid. And the 70s seemed like super, like, old people.
Me and my missus were having this conversation as well. We were talking about, like, how I used to turn on the radio, and I used to always think to myself, I'm never going to fall behind. Do you know what I mean? I'm going to be relevant with my music all the time.
Yeah.
And then, like, now I'm just like, turn out, I would like just stick your own playlist on, which is like 10 years old now.
Like Stormzy, I can't get into that shit. I'm sorry. Loads of people like him. I just can't.
Oh, I still like him. Like
in my head, I'm too old to listen to that shit.
Yeah.
But then when I was listening to Tupac, thinking I was cool as fuck, I thought, I bet my old man was like, oh, what's this shit that he's playing upstairs? So it's when I felt really old was when Wayne Rooney became a football manager. I was like, he only scored against Arsenal like the other day.
Yeah.
And now he's a manager. He's retired, and I'm like,
he was like the youngest player not that long ago.
Yeah, he was 16, smashing it past David Seaman, and now he's a manager of a football. I'm like, where are those years gone? He's just gone.
It's crazy, isn't it?
It is. It's and that's another thing. Life. I know it's a cliche, but it is way too short.
Yeah.
It does go like that.
Going back to like your heart condition.
Yeah.
I can remember I was listening to someone on a podcast the other day, and they were talking about like how you've got two lives, one before you realize, like before something major happens, and then the second life is realizing you've only got one or something. So it's
Well,
profound.
I can remember I was about 18, 19 maybe, and saying to my father, "It's all right, I'm indestructible." Like I genuinely at that age I thought, I can't die. I mean, I used to think if I have a car crash, I'll be fine.
Yeah.
Or I'd be on the back of motorbikes with people and like the GPH videos pretty much. But I never thought, it never bothered me. And then I hit about, I don't know, mid-20s, probably when I had my daughter, and I was like, oh, I can't die. And it was just like a switch. Like, you won't find me on a motorbike now. You know what I mean? All those things. The death is a big reality. And this isn't the most fun podcast. I'm talking about dying all the time, but no, it is.
But people need to hear it as well, don't they?
But you take that. You could be all depressed and like, oh, I don't want to die, but you got to take that and go, right, I'm not here forever. Let's make the most of it, or do stuff I enjoy. That's basically what
switch it on its head, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm doing things I enjoy now, or I've always wanted to do. Whether they'll be successful is another thing. Like MCing, like Ricky Wright. I'm friends with Ricky. Met him through the boxing shows. And I've watched MCs on TV for years, and I thought, I can do that. I got no background in it at all. But I thought, I'm better than this guy. So I said to Ricky, I said, I want to give that a go. He said, all right, I'll help you, he said. So he texted me one day and said, I got you a gig. I was like, oh, fuck.
It's happening.
Yeah, shit. I got to put my money where my mouth is. I give it the big one, saying I can do that. And it was in Cardiff. Oh, how can I not remember the name? Joe Calzaghe's cousin owns a place. And it's massive. It's huge, this place is. MTK have had shows in there and everything. And my first ever show was about 600 people in the audience. It was a white-collar boxing show. I just got my suit on, got in the ring, and done what I'd seen people do on TV. And I was all right. I thought, that's easier than it looks. Don't get me wrong, I'm not at Ricky's level or anything, but I've had some decent gigs since. I don't actively go chasing it like Ricky is his full-time job.
Yeah, fair play to him, innit?
But I don't go chasing it. But if he's got me stuff in the Liberty Stadium, and I've gone to Bognor Regis doing an MMA show a couple of times, and Bournemouth O2 Academy, and some real good stuff. And
I bet it's a buzz, isn't it?
It can be, yeah. It's all right when you're actually in there and the lights are on. The O2 Academy in Bournemouth was amazing venue, real amazing. And when the lights are on you, and you know, like, there's a couple of YouTube clips of fights, and I'm the MC, you know that they're going to be on YouTube. It is a bit of a buzz then, yeah. It's fun. It can be long and drawn out, because I'm quite a reserved person normally. If I meet strangers or whatever, I'll say hello, but whereas Ricky is everybody's mate. Ricky, yeah. You meet Ricky and he'll talk your head off. But I'm not that kind of guy. Not like miserable or nothing. Just quite. I don't know you, so I'll say hello and.
Yeah, I'm much the same as well. To be honest, I don't want to be the main attraction in the room. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly. That's why I don't have birthday parties or anything.
Yeah.
No, I couldn't think of anything worse. But yeah, it's that's another thing that I thought I'm going to give it a go. I think I'd like to do that. I've given it a go now. If I get other things, then great. But I don't. If it never happens again, I've given it a go. I'm happy with what I've done, and it's just ticked off the list.
It's a cool thing to do, though, isn't it? I think
it is good. Yeah, like I say, been in Liberty Stadium and done it, and and all these like O2 Academy and things I would never ever have dreamt of. I would have thought I'd be in a local workman's club or something if I was lucky.
Is this all post
Yeah.
the operation and everything? That
Before my op, I hadn't done anything. I was 24. Was I 24? No, 26 when I had my op, sorry. Yeah, 26. And I hadn't done any. Obviously, I was engaged. I was working nights. And I just had my daughter. And that was it. Since then, I've done writing, MCing, podcasting, boxing, coaching. That was a big thing. That was one of the main things I'd done when I first come back. Because my brother was coaching the Warehouse ABC, it was called, in Swansea. He was a new boxing club, and my brother was the head coach, and he was doing it on his own. And when I come back from my op, I wanted to get a bit fitter. So I started going down the gym. And then he said, because I know my boxing. At the time, I think, was I writing then? I might have been writing as well, but I know my boxing, and I know my MMA. And he said, "What? Do you want to give me a hand doing this?" I was like, "Oh, I don't know." Yeah, he said, "I'll teach you the pads, how to take pads and stuff." So I practiced with my brother, and got good at taking pads, and started training kids. Then I went on and done my coaching qualifications to be an amateur boxing coach. And me and my brother were doing it for a couple of years. We got one of the other our mates in as well to do it, and he done his qualifications. But yeah, it was fun. You're never going to make money out of it. It's not, if you want to be rich, don't be an amateur boxing coach because you don't get paid. It's completely voluntary. But when you see a kid, is the old cliche of they come in and they're quiet and they're reserved, and then a year down the line, they're in there fighting, and they're coming out of the shell, we're having a laugh in the car, they're all making friends in the gym. It is rewarding, and as cliche as it sounds, it is.
Changing their lives, like, isn't it? Really?
Sort of, yeah. But on the flip side, like, I packed it in before my brother, mainly because you spend all this time on these kids, 3 days a week in the gym, training them, and then maybe on a Thursday, you could be done cardigan until 1 a.m, taking him for a fight, or her for a fight. And then spend all this time, and you see them coming along, they're going to be real good. They find girls when they hit about 15, and you never see them again. Yeah. It's like, I just spent 3 years with that kid, and he was that close to being brilliant. We had one Welsh champion. We trained from nothing, Chelsea. She's such a talent, but she won the Welsh title, and she didn't realise what she'd done. Like my brother said, he said, it took me 4 goes to win a Welsh title. She went in on her first one, the Open Welsh, not the novice, the Open, won it. When we went for food afterwards, we were all buzzing, so chuffed. She didn't. She was just like, yeah. She was
didn't know any different. Like,
she was 12. She was like, I said, you were the best. I think she was like 46 kilo, the best 46 kilo girl boxer in Wales. And she went, oh, yeah, that was it. They wanted her in a British squad and everything, and she never boxed again.
It's crazy, isn't it?
It's heartbreaking to a certain extent when you put all that time. But now I've gone into the MMA side of it, because if you give me a choice, like, you can only watch one ever again, boxing or MMA. Most people would think, most people think I'll pick boxing, but I wouldn't. It'd be MMA. I remember my father getting him, but I had them off him, UFC 1 and 2 on a VHS. I think I might have been about 11 or 12.
Yeah.
And I was like, what's this? I'm watching it. And I think the first fight I seen was Gerard Gardeau kicking, I think it's Teely Tooley in the face, the big Samoan.
Yeah, I don't think I've watched that far back.
But you find it on YouTube, but just watch that. Literally, he hits him. As he goes down, he just volleys him in the face, and his teeth fly into the foot. I was like, what is this? And that was the first fight I seen. I was like, what's this? And then you got Guy Archer, my son, coming in with one boxing glove on.
It's crazy what they used to do in it.
They didn't have a clue, not a clue. Or the only one who was really stuff, was Hoist Gracie in the gi, who won it for the first 3 times, I think. And Ken Shamrock had been in Pancrase, and he knew what he was doing, submission wrestling wise. But other than that, they were just out of shape, didn't have a clue, just getting in there, thinking I'm a tough guy.
Local hard men trying to have a scrap.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. But I watched it, and I was like, what is this? I like this. And I think I had 3 and 4 on VHS. And it went a couple of years, with nothing, because obviously I didn't have it on Sky or cable or whatever it was. Just had those 2 VHSs.
Yeah.
Watched them over and over, and then I think it must have been, talking mid 2000s. Ultimate Fighter Series 1 was when I really got back into it, and from then on it's just been non-stop.
I don't think you, like, for me, I watched a bit of football when I was younger, kind of went off from watching sports in general, but I think once you start watching MMA, you just can't, it's a job to watch anything else and be as satisfied with watching it.
Yeah, like, I can appreciate boxing. Like, when Liam Williams fights now, next week or the week after, whenever it is,
yeah,
I'm going to be watching it, because I'm a big fan.
Yeah.
Big fan of Liam, because he brings back that old, nasty, horrible bastard boxer that used to be about back in the day.
Yeah.
But he's bringing it back. He's horrible. Nice guy, but and he wants to. He literally wants to hurt the person opposite him.
I think I seen his Instagram earlier, and it was something savage he put on the post. Like,
Doesn't care. He really wants to hurt people, and I got a lot of time for that. But but you can't compare boxing to MMA in my eyes, because boxing, the problem is the promoters is they want to protect. It's all about the O. Got to protect that O. Got to protect. And when a guy loses one fight, everyone writes him off. Oh, well, if he loses his next fight, he's done.
He's never going to be Mayweather. That's pretty much what,
yeah,
like,
well, this guy, what's his name? Gorman. Nathan Gorman.
Yeah.
Right? People say I look like him, as that happens. But
no comment.
No, it's a fair shout. But he lost against Dubois.
Yeah.
I think it was Dubois. And I seen something not so long ago. He's coming on his comeback fight from that loss. Oh, where does he go if he loses this fight? I'm thinking he's 20. He'll be 20-2. He carries on as normal.
In MMA, that's a real good record.
That's outstanding.
Yeah.
Like Mark Hunt had a record of something like 15 wins, 16 losses, or something like that. But
Daniel Cormier's got a worse record than that. Like, isn't it?
Exactly. You tell me Mark Hunt's fight, and I'm going to watch, because he's entertaining. Win, lose, or draw. That's the difference. It's not as protected. The best fight the best. And you can't tell me boxing is more exciting than MMA. There's so many ways to win in MMA and so many ways to lose. It can literally change like that. Whereas boxing, it's very, very rare that you can't go, this guy's going to win. 100%.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's more often than not, like Williams now. It's a tough one to call. It is a tough one to call.
Yeah, when it comes down to world titles, I feel like things they do step up
sometimes.
Yeah,
sometimes. Yeah, you had Canelo versus Yildirim the other day.
Yeah, that was just
what's the point? Like, Chris Eubank Jr. beat Yildirim about 3 years ago, and quicker than what Canelo done, apparently. But that's the problem. And when you get to domestic level boxing, then it's a joke. It's all on ticket sales. If you don't sell tickets, you could be the best boxer they've ever seen. But if you don't sell tickets, you won't go in. No one will know who you are, ever. Lee Selby was lucky in a way that Sanegas decided to back him, because he couldn't sell out his living room.
Yeah.
To be honest, not to be a nice class. I love Lee Selby, but it's just fact of the matter.
It's crazy how it works like that. Like,
it is, yeah. He couldn't. He had to go and fight away on the road because he couldn't sell enough tickets to warrant a show. But then you've got someone like Di Davis from Merthyr, who's won a couple of Welsh titles. Never going to be a British champion or anything like that, but tough bloke. But he'd sell out half of Merthyr. So there's always shows on in Merthyr. There used to be before he retired, because they know he'd shift 300-400 tickets, and then you bring everyone else from the valleys, like the Gavin Gwynns and stuff, sprinkle those tickets in as well, and you got 1,000 people in Merthyr Tydfil Leisure Centre.
It's wild to me how it works like that, because you think they should do all the promotion. Like, for a fighter, it must be well stressful being a boxer leading 100%. Up to fight week, trying to sort all your tickets out and everything.
It's something that they don't need on top of, like, you go in and someone's trying to hurt you. Yeah. Someone's trying to punch you in the face, and you're worrying about your mate Steve who still owes you 30 quid.
Don't need it, you.
No, you don't. And before the fights, I've seen promoters, before the fights, sorting out the tickets, before he comes to the leisure centre, they're like, right, let's take your money. And I'm thinking, this guy's fighting in an hour and a half. And you're worrying about...
It's like disrespectful in a way, isn't it, to what they're going in to do.
It's bonkers. That's what it is. It's absolutely bonkers. No, don't get me wrong. In domestic level MMA, amateur MMA stuff, it goes on ticket sales. But if you were good at MMA and Cage Warrior snap you up like a Ben Ellis or something like that, then it's not necessarily about ticket sales. They are backing you.
Yeah.
So you still sell tickets and stuff, but Cage Warriors, like Owen Elliott.
Yeah.
Cage Warriors are backing him. He doesn't necessarily have to worry about how many tickets he sells. Cage
Yeah.
Warriors have gone, you think you're all right.
I think he's got potential to be
100%.
a star, like, because he can talk as well with it.
Yeah, exactly. Like, we had him on the podcast after he beat Lily. He beat Lily on Cage Warriors. Lily took it on like 4 days' notice or something. Stupid.
He just loves it, doesn't he? I swear.
He genuinely, like, he's a lovely guy. He's not one of these that goes around throwing his weight around or anything. You wouldn't know. He's a bit of a geek, to be honest, Lily. He is. He loves Star Wars and writing poems and all this shit. He's as far removed from a fighter, you would think, but I've never met anyone who loves fighting as much as Lily. Like, I sent him a text one day, messing. I think my missus was pregnant again. So I sent him a text messing around saying, all right, mate, I'm going to need you help. As in to say mess around, someone's got my missus up a duff. He didn't even, like, normal response would be, what's the matter, mate? Who is it? What's up? He just texted me back, pick me up. Didn't even ask any questions, just pick me up. Let's go and have a ruck. That's the kind of guy he is. He's not scared of anyone, which I find absolutely, it's like,
different world, like, as
yeah,
if you
yeah. It's hard for me.
I'm the same mate as well.
That,
it's nuts, isn't it? Yeah, you literally wouldn't know who you're turning up to.
No, but like these days now, I've been coaching in MMA for 3 years, I think it is, with a team 2-4 MMA in Swansea, and the striking coach. I don't like calling myself a coach. I just all pants around and stuff, but been pretty successful so far. We've got a couple of good guys, and it's just the mentality of these kids that are coming in. Like, we got a guy, Josh. Josh, 21, comes from a judo background. The nicest guy you'll ever meet. Right? You should get him on here one day. The nicest guy, British level judo guy. Travelled the world with Great Britain judo, Brazil, Japan, you name it. He's been everywhere. And he come in, and you would never know that this guy could absolutely snap you into a million pieces, apart from the massive cauliflower ear he got on one side. Now that is, anybody watching this who thinks they're tough and they go to town and let's have a fight with people, check out their ears first. If they're not a big, massive rugby player with cauliflower ears, chances are they're going to beat you up. So, always check anyone. I always check the ears on anyone.
Mate, it's crazy what someone, like, my mate does a bit of wrestling. He's not like any sort of level with it, but he's had a bit of training, and the different, like, I don't do anything, and I just tried to have a wrestle with him, like, I'm a few stone heavier than him, no chance. Just push me around like for fun and that.
People don't realise what they can't do.
Yeah.
It's, like, I thought, like, I watch enough MMA, I watch it for years, I know what this move is, that move is, until someone's laying on top of you and you're trying to get them off.
It's how tired you get as well, isn't it?
Oh, it's horrendous. Is it a different kind of cardio you can go, like, you've had loads of boxers and fighters on you, 3-minute rounds, you could get Lily now off the set and he'll do 10 2-minute rounds, no problem. But you lay on your back after a minute of struggling, it's a real bad place to be.
Yeah.
There ain't many
stopping
worse places.
Stopping you from breathing as well, aren't they?
Everything,
so
restricting, absolutely, and also trying to choke you unconscious at the same time. It's a real bad place to be if you don't know what you're doing, and it's surprising how many people do know what they're doing these days, because jiu-jitsu and wrestling, like, we've got in our gym, our main wrestling coach is the best wrestler in Britain, Curtis Dodge. He fights for Bellator.
I was speaking to him the other day, actually. We're going to have him on at some point.
He'd be good. Yeah, he was on ours, and he's good. And he's our wrestling coach in our gym. And he is ridiculously athletic, right? He's so strong he fights at like 70 kilo, walks around the mid-70s. He's a freak. And it's the same goes with Josh, the guy we got. He's such a nice guy. You never know, but he's the actual core strength of this kid he's scary.
Yeah,
we've got a couple of them now. They coming through. We got another boy, Owen, who's also a judo guy. He's a freak. He's unbeaten. Josh is like ranked in 2 weight classes, top 10 in 2 weight classes in Britain for amateur MMA.
Yeah.
I think he's a lightweight and welterweight. He's ranked in both. But we got a couple of good guys coming through, and we went on like a secret lockdown show up in Wrexham. It was.
Sounds dodgy.
It was. No, it was all right. It was streamed on. You could buy pay-per-view for it, but they moved it from Manchester because the police were going to raid it, and moved it to Wrexham, and nobody knew where it was till the day of the show, and so we were all going in, every temperature checked, have to wear a mask. But like Brad Pickett was in there, James Doolan from Scotland, who's got Stevie Ray, who's in the UFC. He's got a load of good fighters, top guys, and Luke Barnett was the commentator who was in the UFC Ultimate Fighter. So I was looking, thinking, oh Christ, and all these people, and I was cornering against Brad Pickett.
Yeah, but it was wild, wasn't it?
It was crazy. It's absolutely crazy. 3 of us in the corner. Myself, Dino Gambitesa, who's the head coach. He was like number 2 in Europe at one point, MMA for Cage Warriors and stuff. And then we got Omid there, now jiu-jitsu coach, jiu-jitsu black belt. And he's like, you listen to Joe Rogan, he's like an Eddie Bravo type, Omid. He takes jiu-jitsu and then thinks of different ways to do things. He's like a oracle. He's
yeah.
There's jiu-jitsu that people go to, and then they come to us and they're like, "Oh, this is different." I'm not just saying that because our gym, CF24, they called the jiu-jitsu side. They speak for themselves in terms of medals and podiums, and considering it's quite a small club, there's one in Cardiff, there's one in Swansea. He is thinking, and Bryn, the other guy, they think of unbelievable things, really, and that is where we're heading at the moment. It's looking good. We got a couple of good guys, and
so your goal is obviously to try and get someone like a breakthrough for your gym. Then is it eventually?
Yeah. Obviously, the goal for any gym or any fighter is the UFC.
Yeah,
and with the likes of Brett, John Phillips, Jack Marshman, Jack Shaw. Before it was like
pipe dream a bit, like when it in the past.
But you see these guys, like it is a totally achievable dream, no? Totally achievable. Like Owen, he's definitely all right. He had a setback. Everyone gets a setback. People are looking at it like boxing. Oh, he's lost. No, he's done. No, he's not. You learn more from that than he would from all the other wins combined.
Yeah, 100%, mate.
Loads more from that, and he'll come back way better. Way better.
That's just a lesson in life as well, isn't it?
And the guy he lost to, he won no bum. Figlak is legit.
He's on a tier now, isn't he? He's won another one, isn't he, since? Or maybe 2 since.
And his brother. I think it's 2. And his brother. They are real good. They could go all the way as well. So he hasn't lost to just anybody. He's lost to a legit, real good guy. And it is a real possibility that we've looked at a couple of our boys and gone, definitely could get him in.
Yeah.
We believe he's good enough to make it. And all our guys are like 19 to 21.
Have you told them yet, or are you holding off to...
They're not very big-headed at all. They just obsessed by training, pretty much. Obviously, it's hard now with COVID and all this nonsense. It's derailed everybody for 12 months, pretty much.
Yeah.
They've lost 12 months of training and possible growth, but these guys know that they're good, but they're not cocky with it, they're not arrogant with it. They're always ready, like, all right, I'm good. Josh is 5-0 or whatever, but he knows there's someone on the corner that could take him out.
Yeah.
He knows he's good, but then like Dino will spar him, and Dino, like you say, was top in Europe as a pro. He's fought Brad Pickett, he's fought real good guys, and so Dino can always bring him down a peg. But then Dino's saying, I don't know how long I can hang with these kids. They get in the better of me. That's how good they are. And like Ricky Wright is in with the IMAF, the Welsh amateur team.
Yeah.
And they've got eyes on all our guys to take them to represent Wales and stuff while they're still amateur. So Josh is be the first one to turn pro, depending on how COVID goes this year and stuff. But yeah, he'll be turning pro. He might have 1 or 2 more amateur fights, depending on what's allowed.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's...
Where do they go before, like, you turn pro? Are you, like, kind of looking to go straight into Cage Warriors then, or is there somewhere else?
It depends how good you are, really. Like, Dino hosts a show called Budo Wales. That's his promotion. He puts shows up on Swansea. Then there's Adrenaline, which is James Wallace. He puts shows up. Shaky used to put shows, Cage Warriors Wales. Josh has fought on, I think it was the undercard of Cage Warriors 105 in the Viola Arena in Cardiff.
Yeah.
Josh fought on the undercard of Jack Show's world title fight.
I think I was there that night, yeah.
Was you?
Yeah.
Which was crazy because like the cage is huge.
Yeah.
I got it now. I was like, shouting across the cage is massive.
This is going to sound stupid, but it's cold in there. Like,
yeah. Well, the first time I ever went there was to watch Liam Williams versus Corcoran.
Yeah.
And again, like, yeah, it's a nice arena, but I didn't think.
Oh, no, I know. I was like wearing trainer socks. Obviously, you got shoes on, but you're in there and you're like, I wish I bought so much more.
We were there for about, because Jay Harris. Have you had Jay on you?
No.
It'd be good to get on you. Jay, and he's obviously from Swansea. We all know him, so we bought tickets from Jay. Went up to watch Jay, but obviously Liam as well. But Jay was on early, so we were there for about 6 hours, freezing our tits off. My brother's in a t-shirt. He's like, "Oh, I'm gonna get hypothermia." You know, it was absolutely Baltic in there. Yeah,
I don't know why you would think any different, but
it's just you don't think I'm going to a boxing show. If you're going to watch Cardiff Devils, then fair enough. But you're going to a boxing show.
Yeah, they're literally like thin mats, aren't they? Just lay it on top of the ice.
I think it was plywood when I was there.
Was it? Yeah.
Yeah, plywood there, and that was that. I was like, oh, it was proper cold. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was Baltic. I couldn't believe it. I was like, how stupid am I? Like, I expect there was 100 people in there in the same boat.
We couldn't wait to get out there.
I know. I was literally saying, because we got there early as well to watch like some of the amateurs and whatever. Is it? Because they do have do they have amateurs?
No, not in MMA. They do in Cage Warriors. Yeah. Like Josh, like I say, Josh is still an amateur.
Yeah. So
I think he was 3-0, no 2-0 then.
Yeah.
And he fought a guy from Scotland who was 2-1. So
yeah,
we try and match him as hard as we can, because what's the point in...
Got nothing to lose at amateur, like, really, have you?
No, it's all learning. And what's the point in giving them... They could go 10-0 in amateur, turn them pro, and they're soon going to get tested. If they haven't been tested in amateur, then they're going to find out sooner or later in the pros that this is either for them or not, or they're not as good as they thought. So now, when Dino matches Josh, there's not a amateur lightweight in Britain he'll turn down for Josh. If number one comes calling, we'll accept it without hesitation. That's how good we think he is. And the last guy he beat on that lockdown secret one, the guy was 4-0. They both 4-0, or was the guy 5-0? Anyway, they're both undefeated. And we just went, got to find out sooner or later.
Yeah, definitely, mate. And if you want to be number one, that's the only way to do it, really, isn't it?
Exactly. You've got to be... With Josh, we're at that point where we don't think we won't turn anyone down. He's that good. But building up to that, you've got to pick wisely whether it's the right time. But the similar records you look at, basically. But, yeah, we got a couple of boys where you think, put them in.
Yeah, I suppose you get to the point where you don't want to, like... You don't want them to get put off by the sport, do you?
No.
But you also then want to see them excel every time they get in the ring,
exactly.
Really, don't you?
You've got to manage them correctly, basically.
Yeah, but that's a job in itself. Like,
it is, yeah. And we're lucky, really, that Dino has got so much experience. He's like 22 pro fights, well respected. Omi's been doing jiu-jitsu for umpteen years and is a black belt and highly respected. He fights some Polaris and yeah. He's very good. And then you got me then tagging along. So I said, but when I was in the Viola Arena, we were there all day. It was empty. I took a picture of the empty arena with all the cameras set up for BT Sports and stuff. Sent to my brother, said, how have I managed to wangle this one? How have I managed?
It's obviously doing something right, mate, isn't
well, I don't take praise too well, like Dino says a lot, but I don't take it too well. I'm always looking to improve, put it that way.
It's the best way. That's probably how you are where you are doing it then, isn't it?
Possibly, yeah. But again, you've always got that thing of, you see it all the time. If you've never fought, you can't be a good coach. That's absolute bollocks, to be honest with you. I understand you can't to a certain extent, you can't put yourself in their place, obviously, because you haven't fought. Don't know what they're going through before those things. But what they don't realise is I get more nervous than the fighters, I think.
Yeah.
Because I'm invested in these guys. I've seen them come from nothing to going into a real fight. And like one of the boys who trains under us, I've known him since he was a baby. He's 29 now, something. Ricky. And so I get real nervous because I've known him since he was born. Lived next door to my mother. Lived next door to me as a kid. So I'm really invested in these. You put all the time. I mean, I'll finish work, go home, have a shower, down the gym, get home at 9 o'clock some nights.
Yeah.
Because you're padding these guys and stuff. And you want them to do well. Really want them to do well.
Yeah.
Not just for the gym, more for them. Because they put loads of hard work in. Real tough times. Like.
What was it like when you were in the corner for like Lily doing the bare knuckle? Because is that like a different thing, sat there, you're in like the bare fist
it
to
is,
each other?
yeah.
Is it like a weird thing, setting someone out to do that?
Yeah, it is, to be honest, because I've cornered in loads of sports. MMA, kickboxing, boxing. But then bare knuckle, Lily was like, so I helped pad him, and so it was me, Dino, and his mate, Lee. And Lee, I haven't got no, he just come up with us. And
just fill the spotlight.
He just carried the flag out. And so I was like, combat sport, love combat sports. Yeah, happy days to have some of this. And it was the night that Daniel Lowell's first fight in BKB. It was that night. And it's a bit strange because we're all up there. Everyone's in the same room looking at each other. Like, Liddy sitting there and this guy sitting over there. Everyone's in the same changing room. So God, I like this. But then I didn't know what to expect either because I never cornered in a bare knuckle. You got to take in consideration breaking your hands and you can't punch flat out.
Yeah.
You've got to change the way you punch because you hurt your fingers and loads of different things. And this was the first time really, apart from a couple of amateur boxing fights where my brother wasn't there, where I was the lead cornerman. It was me. Obviously Dino was with me, but he was basically on me. And don't get me wrong, Lily's not the best listener in the world. Not by any stretch of imagination.
You're supposed to go out there and get it done like that.
Yeah, it's like the guy he fought was called Morgan Starkey, and he was an MMA fighter, and he only had one punch. If you watch a video back on YouTube, just throws a massive overhand right. And Lily ate about 4 of them. Clean. I was like, what are you doing? I said, that's the only punch he got, and you're getting caught with it. And he was like, all right, yeah. So he was boxing lovely. He was the best boxer on the show by a country mile. But then he come back at the end of the second. It's only a 3-round fight. He goes, I broke my hand. He hit Starkey on the forehead, dropped him. And he's like, I broke my hand. I was like, yeah. I said, well, you want me to pull you out, do you? No. So don't worry about it then. So you got 2 more minutes. I said, jab, get on the jab. If you are going to throw your right hand, throw it to the body. It's a bit softer than his head.
Yeah.
He was like, yeah, all right then, sorted. So he won comfortably, but then we were watching the show, obviously, because Daniel was fighting as well. So we were watching the show, and what fight was it? It was Travis Dickinson, who used to be he used to be a British middleweight champion or something in pro boxing. So I knew who he was. He was fighting some Croatian fella, and the sound of those shots. I was standing there up against the curtain watching it, and Dave Courtney, the gangster, was there going, all right, lads, what's happening? Pulling knuckle dusters out, and I was like, fuck, look at this mad old fucker here. And all these London gangsters and stuff, and we watching it. And should you heard some of the shots, it was like, I love watching a good scrap. But I was watching that, and I was like, oh my God, this is even too brutal for me.
Yeah.
It is, and
I could imagine it's hard to look at,
that Travis Dickinson fight was stopped as well, because it must have been a fractured eye socket. His eye was out here. Oh, it was horrendous. And he still wanted to carry on, and they had to stop the fight. It was absolutely horrendous. And he was walking past us, face like an elephant man. And I was like, fucking hell. And then Dan went in, watch it against Peter Radford. If you watch it back, Dan takes this shot. Oh, my God. Lucky he got a chin, basically, because this Radford hit him flush. And I could hear it from the back of the room. It was like, real. I was like, oh, and he just ate it and just carried on coming forward and hitting him. I was like, Jesus. And then he hit him and he went down like a tree, rather. Have you seen that
I think
fight?
I've seen it, yeah.
Yeah, he went down like a tree. And then we were in the change room because everyone's in the same change room. So we were in the change room afterwards and Radford come in and Daniel was a really nice guy.
Oh, I've had him in, yeah. He's
really lovely bloke. And he was like shaking his hand, are you all right? And checking him. And Radford said something like, oh, they stopped that too early. John Phillips turned around and went like, you fucking mad or what? You still be sleeping if I hadn't woke you up, you head. He was like, oh, I don't think so. He was like, are you fucking nuts, you are, he said. But yeah.
Was he the one with the long hair? Was it?
Yes, yeah.
Oh,
he come in walking like a div and he iced him. Oh, he iced him bad.
That's like in all the top 10 videos they ever do.
He goes down like a tree.
Yeah.
Just because he was about 7 foot tall as well. And you look at Dan now, the shape on Dan now compared to that fight. It's two different people. Dan's in tremendous shape now.
Oh, he looks to be like a man on a mission at the minute.
Yeah,
he's training.
It's. I've talked a couple of times about this. It's the perfect sport for the match made in heaven. Because he's done MMA, he's done unlicensed boxing, and I think he's either a brown or black belt in judo as well. Dan.
Yeah.
So he's handy. Everyone knows he's handy. But this is just match perfect for his skill set, his ability. I've seen him in MMA win some, lose some. He's never really focused himself in terms of training. And
yeah, you admit that himself.
Yeah, but now it's like a different bloke. And Jason Williams, his coach, he's one of the best coaches, in my opinion. I've told Lily loads of times, said, try and go with Jason. Because Jason was a pro Welsh champion. He'd be a good one to have. I had him on the podcast, me and Lily did, and he was really good, real good chat, really enjoyable, and he started his own box of tricks. It's called his own sort of.
Yeah, I've seen him. Yeah. He trains John Phillips as well a bit.
Yeah, he does a bit of pads with John. Oh, fuck that!
Break your hands like
your elbows would be out of sockets.
I've been trying to get him on you for ages, but he's ducking me.
John,
yeah, he's hard man to get hold of. Like
he is, extremely busy. I was lucky in a way that I think he come on hours like 3 times, but Lily's best mates.
Yeah,
they used to live together and stuff, so it's easier that way. But Jason Williams, he's adapted his boxing coaching perfectly for bare knuckle.
Yeah,
he's very switched on. He's taken Dan and he's gone, right, this is Dan's strengths, these are his weaknesses. Let's work this, but we got to adapt it because it's not the same sport. It is. Although people go, it's boxing with no gloves on. It's not. It's a different sport because you can't throw punches in bare knuckle the way you can in boxing.
Yeah, they're brittle, aren't they? Your hands are so brittle. 100%. That's why the gloves are there, like, isn't it?
Exactly. You can't do it. The gloves not only protect your hand, that's why people get hurt in boxing because you get knocked down, get an 8 count. Most of the time, that person shouldn't carry on.
So they've been knocked out. Well, they've had the brain trauma, haven't they?
Yeah. They shouldn't really carry on. And a fighter's never going to go, I've had enough. Very, very rare. Fighters, you've got to protect a fighter from themselves. Yeah. They're going to come, you'd have to carry them out there. The gloves give you a false sense. They allow you, they don't only protect your hand, they allow you to take more damage. Because the guy can keep punching you without hurting himself.
Yeah, because it's not clean knockout either. You don't feel like the damage is done.
Exactly, and you don't hurt your hand, so you can keep punching him. Whereas in bare knuckle, if you hit him flat out and you catch him on the forward, you break your hand.
Yeah,
you've only got one in you.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Sometimes you're lucky, but more often than not, you've only got 1 or 2 in you. Real hard punches, clean punches. The rest, you've got to be tactical, you've got to think about it.
I think Sean George said he's never broke his hands. Which is just crazy to me.
Yeah, there's a tough bloke for you now.
Yeah.
Lovely bloke. Have you?
I've had him on, yeah. Sound mate.
What a lovely bloke. I had him on. Well, that was sort of the... I don't want to take credit, but we will. But the bare knuckle explosion in Wales, because Sean was already doing it. And at that point, everyone thought, bare knuckle, it's just loads of gypsies in a barn, surrounded by hay, hitting crap with each other.
That's what it was when he started, I think.
Pretty much, yeah. But... my mate Dan Gums, who does all the gum shields, he knew Sean. He said, get him on. I was like, I don't know about this, some bare knuckle guy. Like, BKB wasn't really a thing and nobody knew about it. So I was like, I don't know. All right, we'll have him on, it'd be interesting. So Lily couldn't make it, so I went up to Cardiff, to Dan's house, so we went all have food, and I interviewed shown on there. And that, he told us about the rules and everything, because I had no idea about bare knuckle. So it's a bit barbaric. He said, no, there's rules. Like, the doctor can throw the red towel in, stop the fight at any time. There's a 20 count, blah, 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 blah. I was like, that's actually really good. That's actually well thought out, and sounds like there's rules in place and could be a proper sport. After that, Lily said, because I've acted as Lily's manager as well sometimes, Padman manager, you name it. He texted me, he said, get me in bare knuckle. I was like, all right. So I found Jim on Facebook, Jim Freeman. Just messaged him. So look, I got a guy for you. This is his pro boxing record. This is his pro MMA record. He'll fight. He was like, I get 50 messages a day. Most of them are divs saying, I'll fight. I said, no, he's this, he'll do it. You went, all right, then sound. And within a month, Lily had signed a contract. Lily started fighting, and then Dan started fighting. Lily had one fight. Then on his second fight was when I cornered him, and Dan had his first fight. And it just snowballed on from there.
Yeah, there's a lot of Welsh guys, like Rocky Morgan, I've had him on.
Exactly.
He's got some brutal knockouts as well.
Oh, he's another one made for it.
Yeah.
I know he's done pro boxing, and he fought my mate in unlicensed boxing in one of the Budo shows as well. And I think he had like 2 pro fights, something like that. But yeah, he's made for it.
Yeah,
he's
definitely.
just a little tank, isn't he?
Oh, yeah.
I've watched him spar Lily, and you should go down with your camera and tape some of them. Those are some proper.
Paid to see it, like we do.
Yeah. I walked out once. I thought someone was getting iced by her now. But then they hug and shake hands and off they go. It's proper. There's no messing around.
I don't feel like Craig could not throw hard. Like, I don't.
Yeah.
Like, you know, when you see him fight, you just think like
he's compact power.
He's like Tyson, isn't he? The way he moves, like he's like down.
Tight. He's another one. Just wants to knock you out.
Yeah,
just wants to knock you out. And I got loads of time for that. He's another one made for.
You want to watch him fight, don't you?
Yeah, he's exciting.
Yeah,
he's exciting.
Definitely.
Like Dan Chapman one the other day. Dan's pedigree is ridiculous when it comes to GB boxing and stuff. I'm pretty sure he was in like Anthony Joshua and stuff.
Yeah,
his pedigree is mad. But so he won.
Controversy around all that, and there with Sean's.
Yeah, well, Sean picked up an injury. All right, it didn't look like an headbutt. It's the worst headbutt injury I've ever seen. If it is, who am I to say it's not?
I think
exactly.
So.
Yeah.
People split in weird ways as well, don't they?
Exactly. Anything could have happened. You don't know. And knowing Sean, he could have had a little cut and carried on and made it worse, because he's that type of guy. He just it's all right.
I don't feel like he's a liar either.
No,
I don't get that from him. Like he's
in love. He's although he's like softly spoken. I've seen him in like Eberville, because I work in supermarkets doing fridges.
Yeah.
So I've been in like Tesco's, and I've met him 5-6 times, and I'd be walking in Eberville, and he's going, hey, how's it going, mate? I'm like, oh, I mean, he actually took time to remember, and he's a really nice guy, but let's not mess around. The guy's nails.
Yeah.
Absolutely nails. He fought Muay Thai, MMA, boxing, bare knuckle, you name it, he's done it. So for people to go, he's a shit house, he's bottled it, it couldn't be further from the truth. That's absolute bollocks, that is.
Mate, I went back and forth with him a little bit, like when I found out about the cut or whatever. And he was gutted.
Oh yeah,
absolutely gutted. Like, because he'd put in so much work for it. That's the last thing he wanted to do was pull out of that fight.
Oh, and I've never seen anyone train like him in my life.
Yeah,
he's obsessed. He gets up at 3 a.m, showers under a freezing cold tap outside the gym, and then goes to work.
They need to make a film out of him in the future, don't they? I reckon.
He's an original, put it that way. There's not many built like him anymore.
Nah.
Most people who can't get him up to go for a 5-mile run, where he's up 3 o'clock every morning without fail, training his nuts off. So regardless of how the cut come about, I don't see any reason to say that he's lying.
No,
no, it was a bad cut, the worst I'd seen. But then I personally think, like, Jim don't particularly like me and bare knuckle. No, he's blocked me a couple of times, and because I'll call it as I see it. Yeah, pretty much. I don't see the point in fucking about with. Oh yeah, but I can see why they want Dan to be champ. He's got the skills, he's got the look, He's got the pedigree.
Following as well. That
got a
always helps, like,
following.
doesn't it?
But you can't tell me that John Spencer deserves a world title shot. I know they want Dan to be world. Like, let's not fuck about. Dan versus Sean. They want Dan to win that because Dan is... Sean's on
well, they want, like, the passing of the guard, innit, to the new
and
sort
Dan,
of breed.
Dan will sell pay-per-views. Dan looks good. Dan talks well. Like, Sean has been there, done it. I'd love to see Sean win another title. But he is, and he said it himself, he's on the way out now. Whereas Dan is just come straight in. He's got all the pedigree. They can keep piping that out. GB. And he's good. He's not just looks good. He's
different as well, though, isn't he? The way he moves and everything, it
dangerous.
is different. Like,
he's fucking dangerous. But personally, I think they should have. All right, Sean didn't fight. Get Dan a fight. By all means, he's trained his nuts off to fight Sean. All right, he'll always have that world title shot with Sean when he's fit. Get John Spencer, and by all means, leave him have a fight. And John Spencer lasted longer than I thought he would, to be honest. So I've seen him. He's one of these guys. Proper nails. Like, will fight any sport, any notice.
Yeah.
He's one of them. There's like 4 or 5 of them travel the country. They'll fight MMA on a Friday and then bare knuckle on a Saturday. They lunatics. They'll proper hard blokes. There's no... He wasn't a pushover, but he's nowhere near the level of Dan. Nowhere near the level of Dan.
Yeah.
And I was like, a world title on it? Really?
I think that's just a selling point, isn't it?
Yeah, but that diminishes the credibility of the actual brand itself.
Yeah.
Like, you virtually get... You're not giving it because he is getting in and getting it and stuff, but there was no way that John Spencer was ever going to beat Dan. No way. He should have... I'll probably get blocked again now, but...
Hi, Jim.
Yeah. He's giving me loads of shit on Facebook and about our podcast and stuff.
The thing is, though, you know, like you talking about it like this is only, like, giving more eyes to the sport, though, isn't it? I think, like, good or bad, they need to accept both.
I've been not critical because it's definitely got there's a market for it, definitely, but I don't see where it can go. As in MMA and boxing, judo, anything like that, you're gonna have kids that start when they're 9, going, I want to be the next Conor McGregor or the next Liam Williams, whatever. You never ever gonna get a 9-year-old going, I want to be the next Jimmy Sweeney. Chuck those gloves in the bin. Let's go for it. You can't bring kids through. You're always going to have the former boxer, former MMA champion. You get better pedigree of former fighters like Dan. That's one of the best boxers they've ever had. But it's not a sustainable sport, I think, in that terms of bringing the youngsters through.
It's going to be difficult to have lower leagues of it. But there is, though. I see other promotions, but they're not lower leagues, really. They're kind of like...
But how sanctioned are they? Or not sanctioned, because is there any sanction in bare knuckle? Let's be honest. Obviously, there's got to be some sort of...
It's legal, but...
Yeah.
You're kind of signing your waiver, probably, aren't you?
Yeah, it's as part of it, I don't really know too much about, but I can see where it can grow. Like, BKFC in America... They are chugging loads of money in by the look of it. They've got a good...
They're after stars, aren't they?
Yeah, good platform. A good production. It's presented well. But again, you're always going to have former, like Paige Van Zandt. All right, she's 24, 26, whatever she is. She's not going to do it. She'll have 2 or 3 fights. She'll be out. She'll get her loads and loads of money. But are you really going to get fans that are going to last 20 years... off the back of Paige Van Zandt? Probably not. You're going to have a short-term gain and nothing after that. So
same with like Artem Lobov, isn't it? They had him fighting that Jason Knight.
It's a novelty thing.
Paulie Malignaggi, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, the Jason Knight fight, they battered each other.
That was kind of like anyone who had an argument for them never to do it. That was the fight to watch, and because they're knocking their teeth out, weren't they?
Oh, it was bad. That's what I mean. It is. I take my hat off to anyone who does it, mine. Like, you watch bare knuckle, BKB. Some of them you think, he looks like a bag of shit. But they genuine. Anyone who gets in that ring is an hard fucker. There's no there ain't no getting round it. Even the guys who aren't very good at it, like the guys who always get beat, like Navarro.
Yeah.
He's been in with Barry Jones. He's been in with them all, like Tyler Goodjohn.
Sean, Tyler Goodjohn, yeah.
That guy just gets a tune in all the time. But you've got to take your hat off to him. He
Takes
gets
it
in
well.
there. Oh, yeah, he gets in there and he has a scrap against, like, Barry Jones. Barry Jones, I watched him live. I watched him against Lily for the Welsh title pro. He's legit. He's fought Cal Brook. You know what I mean? He's been British level boxer. I can't see many beating him. He's top draw. He's got so much class. Again, same as Dan. And Dan's on a level above again, I think. But it's... like, Barry's going to make a couple of quid, got a couple of titles, and that'll be that. But
It'd be interesting to see, because I think they are going to do Sean and Dan on the next show in July, apparently.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah.
Because Dan needs that test, and if you put skill for skill, I think it's pretty obvious that Dan is the most skillful fighter. But Sean's been in there with the best that they've had to offer, taken unlimited amounts of abuse and punishment, and still carries on.
When you look at like how skillful Tyler Goodjohn is, though, and Sean seemed to rise up to that challenge, didn't he?
Like I say,
it changed him, didn't it? He becomes so much better for fighting someone.
It's a different sport.
Yeah.
You might be a really good boxer, but it's a different sport. You throw punches slightly different, and you've got to take the power off. You've got to know when and how to throw it. And can you take a punch as good without 10 ounce or 8 ounce gloves on than bare knuckle? Do you know what I mean? Sean is proven. He's been there, he's done it. Yeah. There's no doubt about it. He's been there, done it, and he can do it. Whereas Dan, he had 2 fights.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see. It will be interesting to see, because...
Don't get me wrong, Dan's going to be the betting favourite. There's no doubt about that, because of the skill set he provides. But you can't write off Sean's toughness.
No, I can't wait to see that. That's like...
That's a fight. Like, there's not many fights that get me excited for it. BKB, like I watched Dan Lowell, obviously, and obviously Lily. But Barry Jones, I do like Barry, because he brings legitimacy to it. He's a legit good fighter. He's not just a tough guy. But yeah, they have got a couple of names, in all fairness to them. They were bringing over really good ex-UFC guys like Chris Lytle and Melvin Gillard and stuff. I think you pay for who knows for them, to be honest. You've got to fly them over, all that nonsense. But they've gone more homegrown talent now, I think, which I think is the right way to go, because it's not sustainable. Otherwise, you're flying over superstars all the time.
You got to make big money on every show then, really, haven't you, to warrant it?
And they can't. And in all fairness, right, as much as I'm not a fan of Jim and Joe, they've managed to put 2 shows on in a pandemic.
Yeah, most companies kind of just give up until it's done, innit?
They are far from Matchroom, so it is coming out of their pocket, hoping they get it back on the pay-per-views, which, whether they have or not, I don't know. But it can't be easy, and they've done it, so you've got to take your hat off.
Oh, yeah, respect to what they're doing, because, yeah, like you said, it's going to be a hard sport to grow, but you never know. You never know. I don't think, like you said, I don't think kids of 9 or 10, but maybe kids who are kind of coming up to the pro level and are thinking... Because if it ends up being more money in it...
Which is a good chance it is, unless you're a superstar in pro boxing. Like I say, it's all ticket sales, and you might get 300, 400 quid for a fight.
That might be where you swap over, innit?
Yeah, possibly. So I might be totally off my boat. It might be the next massive thing. I don't know.
I think you're right, as in kids, you just can't, can you? You're going to be loved until a certain age, no matter what.
And for me, if a sport is going to grow, you've got to have the youth coming through, developing in that sport.
Yeah.
Like I say, it's a different sport. It's close to boxing, but you're going to have to, at some point, you're going to have to stop boxing and go, I'm going to be a bare knuckle fighter, and it's going to take some transition period over.
Yeah.
But they need a superstar. And I think Dan Chapman could be the superstar. I think one superstar that's out there that they haven't got yet would be the poster boy, is John Phillips.
Yeah.
If they could sign him, he's got nuclear bombs in his fists, and he wouldn't have to hit you very hard to knock you out. I don't see anyone. I think it's perfect for John. He would be their poster. If they could sign him, stick him on every poster. He's selling the pay-per-views on his own. because he is guaranteed excitement.
Oh, 100%, mate. Everyone was going to
Guaranteed.
tune in to see that, aren't they?
Exactly. Look, you've seen him in the UFC. People give him shit about the UFC. Well, look, he was it 5-1, 5 losses, 1 win, but they're the 0.01% best fighters in the world.
Yeah.
In the world. And he was in there. You know what I mean? People don't understand that. People don't, he's shit. He ain't. He'll tune anyone up.
They weren't looking to stand with him, though, were they?
Oh, no
You
chance.
know, the people who beat him.
And the one guy who did stand with him went to sleep in 17 seconds.
Yeah. The only one who kind of stood with him was Marshman, but they both kind of didn't engage, really, did they, in that fight?
I like Marshman boxed well off the back foot. You can't mix it with John. Anyone who mixes it with John will go to sleep. You can watch his other fights as proven. So Marshman was quite clever. It depends what you like in that situation, because obviously the pressure that John was putting on gets in points. But then Marshman was on the back foot, but he was scoring with shots. They weren't powerful shots. They weren't hurting John, but he was regularly scoring. So it was uproar when Marshman won, but I think it was a lot closer than what everyone was saying.
Yeah, it was a close fight. It's hard to judge.
Exactly.
I've watched it a couple of times, because I'm supposed to be having Jack on soon at some point, and I was watching it, and it is quite hard to judge. Like it
comes down to what you like and what the judges like.
Yeah.
They appreciate the fact that Marshman was evading John's strikes and just jabbing him and kicking him and keeping him
Played
at bay.
a smart game.
Yeah, well, the only game. You don't want to play a non-smart game with John because you put him to sleep. But or do you appreciate the fact that John is constantly trying to... John, he texted Lily like the day after that fight and said, "My house tonight podcast." I was like, oh, fuck. Oh, he's not happy. I was like, oh no. Me and Lily were like, oh, fuck. But he was obviously fuming because he clearly thought all the pressure. But he admitted himself, he fucked up when he dropped Jack, hurt Jack, and let him get back up. I bet he loses sleep over that, to be honest, because it's those couple of seconds.
Their fight was brewing for a long time as well, wasn't it?
They've been calling each other out. Well, I think John's been calling him out more than the other way around. I've heard quite a few stories, obviously only from one side of it. So, but yeah, they've been on a collision course for a long time. So it was coming. And to be honest, I watched Jack loads of times. I thought he's not going to take it on the chin. You don't want none of John.
Yeah.
But in all fairness, I'll take it back. I didn't think he wanted any of John, but he fought the right. He fought the right game.
He did fight the right
game.
He played smart, didn't he, in that one? And yeah, like you said, I think John's had like at the end of the day, Chimaev come in, didn't he?
Yeah.
And like no one knew who or what he was going to be capable of. I expect John didn't know when he took the fight.
Exactly. And it was short notice as well, I think Chimaev was. He fought Kevin Holland.
Yeah, exactly.
He didn't have it easy.
When you look at who these people are now, and then that's what you got to look at.
Yeah.
It's the same with like Marshman. He fought like Thiago Santos.
He's had a murderer's run.
Yeah, like
he's fought everyone.
You hear some people say like, is he going to stick in the UFC? Well, like he is literally. You just don't know who you're going to fight when they're on their way up, do you?
Exactly. He's
Shabazian, was it? He fought.
Yeah, he's fought Antonio Carlos. What's his name? He fought the other day. I think he beat. He beat Woodley the other day. I think
Sean Strickland, was it? Did he? No.
No, that was a guy he kept mouthing to him, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That was that his last fight? Not sure, but he's fought some real tough. You haven't had it easy, not by any stretch. I mean, you can't get it easy, really. Let's be honest. It's the UFC. You're expected to have our fights, but like when you read out to people like Jack's fought, it's like, oh Jesus, yeah. You look at him. He's fought in Madison Square Garden, Vegas, and
he's had. Even when he was in Bama, like he fought some huge names in there, didn't he?
Yeah, Cage Warriors. I watched him in Cage Warriors. He fought some top guys, and you can't get there without fighting. But again, you look at the record. I think Jack is something like 22-7. John is 23-8 or 9. People go, he's lost 9 times. Yeah, but John has knocked 23 people out, and he hasn't gone outside the first round. Or he subbed one guy, sorry. It's like ridiculous. And then Jack, all right, he's lost 7 times. But look at the guys he's fought.
It's mental,
Cream of the crop. Yeah. Cream of the crop.
Best in the world.
By a country mile. It's ridiculous. And people just are quick to, shit.
Yeah, a lot of people are writing them off, like, they, but I suppose I don't know how old either of them are, to be honest.
John he's a little bit older than me, I think. John's about 35, 36, I think. Yeah.
So they're probably looking at something in the future, aren't they? Like
yeah, I would think so. I don't know. Jack been cut? I don't think he have.
No, he hasn't.
No. John have, obviously. So what's next with John?
Oh, is he? Yeah, I didn't know that.
John's been let go. Yeah, he was let go 2-3 months ago.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's been let. But then there's like I say.
That's what you're saying about the bare knuckle. Yeah, mate, that would be insane.
How they haven't bit his arm off, I don't know. But then again, I suppose Bellator is always there. You've got Cage Warriors if you just wanted to fight domestically.
What did Brett say? Yeah, UFC said this and Bellator said double it.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. So you've got to get what you're worth as well.
Yeah.
And I understand a lot of people will look and go, can't believe he's bombed the UFC out. What was he? He was like 5-2. Record,
Yeah,
5 wins, 2 losses.
And people he fought as well. It's unreal.
Exactly. Top of the tree.
Aljamain and...
Aljamain Sterling, Pedro Munoz.
Yeah, that was a war, like...
The guy he beat last, Gravely. I think his last fight, Gravely, he absolutely decimated his opponent. And Brett subbed him. Brett's wrestling is underrated. Like Dino says to me all the time, he's one of the best wrestlers about. British wrestlers, because it's not our wheelhouse, is it? Wrestling is not in the schools or anything. But his wrestling is so... He's like, he smothers you. He's like a blanket on you.
It's the same as Jack, though, isn't it? He's exact, like...
Jack, yeah. He comes from a boxing background predominantly, but he has adapted, whereas he's adapted more...
sorry, I was...
Oh, Jack Shaw,
Jack Shaw,
I thought he was on about
sorry,
Marshman, but like, even with Marshman, he's adapted his game more than, say, John Phillips had. John Phillips, you knew, he's coming to knock your head off.
Yeah.
Plan A, there is no plan B. We'll deal with it when it happens. But like Jack's good in the floor. Jack's good at wrestling. Jack's good at striking. But then Jack Shaw, he's the new breed, where he's done it from age 13 or whatever he is. And he's done it all. He's actually developed in MMA rather than, I'm a boxer, I'm going to try MMA. He's been MMA from day one.
Oh yeah, I think he's going to go far. He's fighting this weekend, isn't he?
Yeah, I can't remember the guy's name.
Yeah,
yeah, it is.
Under Azure or something.
That's the one. Yes, I was looking at the stats, and Azure looks like he's a stand-up guy, striker. He was going on there like how many punches per minute he throws. So he throws more than Jack, but then obviously
get ready to get taken down, son.
Exactly. Jack's got the 2 subs.
You might not be throwing many punches this
exactly.
fight.
Jack is a talent. There's no doubt about it. He's a proper nice guy to go with it as well.
100%.
He's one of the nicest blokes you meet. Like I've been up there at gym a couple of times, so in the clubs and stuff, and he's one of the hottest prospects in world MMA. Everybody knows who he is. He's on the King and the Sting podcast with Brendan Schaub and all that, and he's just a normal guy.
Doesn't change for anyone.
Absolutely. As it happens, well, I remember. The presents for you, right? And one of them is Jack's. Because I was going to send him some mugs. And so you got one of Jack's mugs. I'll have to send him another one. There's a mug.
Oh, nice one, mate. Appreciate that.
And I got him a t-shirt as well, fella.
Oh, legend. Well, that rolls into talking about one of your other ventures then.
And again, something I've always wanted to do, so I thought I'd give it a go.
Oh, mate, that's awesome.
That's the...
I'll open it up.
That's the Tyson, the Mike Tyson Be Real.
I was having a look on your site the other day because when you said to me, I said I was looking at them prior. Yeah. So what made you want to start this?
Basically, all I wear is gym clothes, pretty much.
Yeah. So
I'm always in tracksuit bottoms, always in hoodies, and I'm always looking for my brother bought me because one of my favorite boxers is Lomachenko.
Yeah.
For one of my birthdays, my brother bought me a Lomachenko t-shirt.
Cheers, mate.
Oh, it's no worries.
Love it.
He bought me a Lomachenko t-shirt. So I was like, oh, nice. So I went to the gym and stuff. And then when we would do Budo, we'd have free t-shirts because we were staff. So we'd have another thing to wear to the gym. I'm always in gym clothes. So I was like, always looking for quirky t-shirts. I had the McGregor one before, which just said, who the fuck is that guy on the front?
Yeah.
Just little things that if you know, you know, which is sort of becoming the slogan on the website a little bit. Subtle nods to sayings or famous fights or famous quotes or fighters. that not everybody will know. Like, you could be walking down the street with "Be Real" written on. I'll know Mike Tyson wore that. That's why you're wearing it. You like fighting. That is where it come from, pretty
Spark
much.
a conversation or something.
Exactly. It's you know instantly, this guy likes fighting. He knows what he's on about because he's wearing a "Be Real" t-shirt.
Yeah.
And you see, like on the website, I've got one that just says "Be Real." That's it. And not everyone will know what that is. So I put a post up on Instagram where Tyson come to the ring once with like a poncho thing on with just "Be Real" written on.
I seen that post, yeah.
So I said, if you don't know why we got that, this is why. And again, one of the first designs I done, was the UFC sort of octagon, but with, obviously I can't go around going UFC on t-shirts and stuff because it's copyrighted, but I thought, right, statistics aren't copywritten. So on one of the t-shirts and mugs and that is an octagon in the same colours and style as the first ever UFC logo, with a guy with the world on his shoulders and stuff. But it's got the venue, the attendance, the date and everything of the first ever UFC. So it's like McNichols Arena, Denver, 10,000 people.
Yeah.
And the 1993, whatever. That's in there. But not everyone's going to know what that means. But some people will and go, oh, I like that.
Yeah, there's a lot of thought going into it, isn't there?
Some of them, like, one of my favourite ones we've done is "Rumble, Young Man, Rumble." Famous quote. Everybody knows that quote from Ali. But I've put it on a t-shirt with Combat Sport Collective on it, which is the name, obviously, and it looks awesome. Bright yellow, red writing, or black with gold writing. All these different things. And I've got so many ideas. I've got stuff I haven't even released yet. Just got to get it done. But it's a lot of trial and error.
Promotion's the key, I suppose, with that, isn't it? Because once I seen it before you'd even said, but I was looking at it and I was like, God, I really like this stuff. But it's actually getting it in front of people, isn't it? It's the game of social media, isn't it?
And again, I'm not doing it same as everything. And then when I started a podcast, it wasn't because I wanted to be Joe Rogan and I wanted to make millions of pounds and get loads of advertisers on board, because it's not pie in the sky, but for some it works. But more often than not, it's not going to happen. You've got to do it.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah,
a lot more work than people even realise.
You've got to do it because you enjoy doing it. Like I've said loads of times, when do you sit down and have a conversation with someone for 2 hours?
Never.
About stuff you enjoy.
Outside of this.
Exactly. It doesn't happen. I don't sit down and talk to my missus for 2 hours in one go.
Or over the week.
Yeah, exactly. So you learn a lot more. You become more sociable. You become less awkward in conversations. And you meet new people and learn new things.
Yeah.
So I done it because I enjoyed it. Same with this now, the clothes. I done it, be honest, so I can get cheap clothes for myself.
Yeah.
Truthfully, clothes that I would buy, that I like, and I think are cool, basically, that I can wear to the gym.
And if you like them and you're into martial arts, boxing, other people are going to like them, aren't they?
And again, I could have, when I spoke to the company that print all my stuff, I could have had the cheapest t-shirts, had it printed, and made £15 a t-shirt. I was like, I don't care about the money. It's not about that. I want the best quality t-shirt I can get, or hoodie, or whatever. Good design. Pay for the design to draw it up, and make a fraction of what I could make in profit-wise, because I don't care about the money. What I think, I tell everyone, what I want one day, whether it'll happen, I don't know, but one day to be walking down the road, say Cardiff Town Centre, and someone's walking towards me with one of my tops that I've thought up. It started in my head, and he's walking around. He doesn't know who I am. I haven't got a clue. But he's walking around with one of my tops on.
It'll happen.
I hope so. It'd be nice.
Happen,
and I just think that would be really cool. That something that's been in my head that I thought, yeah, let's do it. Got it done, put it on a t-shirt, and someone's thought, I like that, I'm going to buy that. And I see them walking towards me. I just think that, so it's not about the money or I
having pride in it. Like,
I haven't made no money off it. I mean, I still got to work my 50 hours a week it's a passion project more than anything. And like I say, I get hoodies and t-shirts to walk around in.
Well, mate, you put a lot of work into a lot of things, like, don't you? And
I'll have a go. Like I say,
respect to you, because it all takes. Unless you're enjoying it, you can't keep that sort of energy up, can you?
My missus is very understanding, in all fairness. She's got as gold. She just goes, another idea, right? Yeah, go on in. Carry on.
Yeah.
She never moans. Like I say, I could be in the gym till 9 o'clock at night, or I'll come home and go, what do you sort of kids? I got to sort these orders out, or whatever. Not that I'm getting drowned with orders, but it's, again, like I was painting a fence on the weekend. My phone went, I got an order. It's a little bit of excitement.
Buzz, like,
it is massive. I love it. And I've shifted a few of them, in all fairness. I've shifted quite a few, but it's, like I say, it's not a money-driven thing. It's purely for enjoyment.
Yeah.
I like you might take a picture in 3 months doing a podcast, somebody might have that on. Again, it'll buzz out there.
Yeah.
Oh, that's my t-shirt.
Yeah, 100%, mate.
It's little things like that. So, and like I say, it all leads back to 8 years ago, whenever. 2013, what's that? 8 years ago?
Yeah.
So when I had the op, when I come out, sort of a different person. Like, loads of stuff happened in there. Funny stuff, not so funny stuff. Nurse nearly killed me.
Which one was that? Not funny, was it?
That was, probably not funny. It wasn't funny at the time. What happened is I was sitting in a chair. I was in intensive care, and they got me out of bed, sitting in a chair. And at the time, I had not like the taps you have in your hand when you go to hospital, so they put fluids in. But I had like 5 of them together in my neck, so like the predator's hair, so to speak, right? So I'm sitting there, and she come behind me. She goes, I'm going to flush you tubes out. So with some saline or whatever it is. So my missus and my mother were sitting opposite me. And as she went and as she pressed it, my heart rate just went bosh through the roof instantly. I went, what the fuck have you done? She went, oh, there must have been some adrenaline left in the thing. Pure adrenaline, like, just obviously when they're doing the heart surgery, they stop my heart. And the machine keeps you going. So the pure adrenaline is like fucking Pulp Fiction. Bosh, straight in the chest. But yeah, there was still some left in the thing.
Were you?
I didn't. It felt like ages. In reality, it was about 3 seconds probably. It happened and then it went. But my missus said my eyes rolled back in my head. I didn't know that. And I said to the woman, what the fuck? She was like, oh, she went white, the nurse did. So she nearly killed me. But it was another time. I don't know if you listeners want to hear this, but I thought it was hilarious.
I think they want to know.
They don't leave you out of hospital until you have a shit, right? That's rule, because all the painkillers they give you. I was on like OxyContin, which is what Heath Ledger overdosed on and stuff. It's ridiculous painkiller. It's addictive, super addictive.
Big documentaries on Netflix, I think.
Yeah, it's the one that all the film stars die of. Like, for the nurses to give me one of them, tiny. To give me one of them, 2 nurses have got to sign it out. If one tablet goes missing, the police are called. This ridiculous stuff, right? So I was on that. So they back you up. So the doctor's like, go to the toilet. And there's no dignity in hospital, because there's 4 of us on a ward. I can see the guy opposite me, guy next to me there. And there's a really old guy, he's like 80 odd, diagonal to me. So in the morning, on the back of the toilet door, by the way, there's a chart, right? With like 8 pictures of shit, all different types of shit. And with 1, 2, 3, 4. So they come round in the morning, the old guy opposite me, Rick. Hi, Rick, have you been to the toilet? He's like, yes, yeah. It was about a number 4 this morning, love. I'm like, what the fuck? Do you know what I mean? I'm 26, like. Yeah. What am I doing? Telling some... And the nurse is pretty smart in Bristol Hospital. Telling some, like, bird who's younger than me what shit I should have had this morning or whatever. But so they're on to me. Have you been? No. Can we give you some laxatives? I was like, can you fuck? Why? It's like, because I can't get out of bed. It's like, because they didn't know I had a collapsed lung and stuff at the time. So I can't get out of bed. And they were like, oh, it's all right. I said, I'm 26. I'm not shit in the bed. You can fuck off. So they're like, all right. So they kept coming back for about 3 days now. Can we give you laxatives? I was like, no. So in the end, I said, right. So I was drinking laxatives for 2 days. not even budging, not a twitch, right? So then the doctor comes in and goes, right, can we come to an agreement that if nothing happens, can we pop one up your back passage? So can you fuck? No chance. No chance. I said, I'll make it happen tomorrow. But in the meantime, the really old guy diagonal to me, they'd similar conversation with him, and he started drinking laxatives. That was hilarious. So he's sitting opposite me, or diagonal to me, and he's reading the paper. And he's like 2 days removed from open heart surgery, right? 80 odd. I'm struggling, and I'm pretty good with pain. But this guy, he's old. So he's reading the paper, and about half hour ago, he drunk a little laxative drink. Next thing, you just see the paper drop. And no that, like, oh, fuck. Look on your face, like, I'm in trouble, yeah? So he grabs the buzzer, starts pressing the buzz. So me and Kevin, the bloke next to me, we looked at each other like, oh, all right. So he pressed the buzzer. So you see this old guy, and like the paper's gone now. He's like, press. He's fucking going mad on this buzzer now. Like, oh, fuck, yeah. So next thing, he dives out of bed. He's just an art, so he dives out of bed and legs it to the fucking toilet. I was like, fucking hell, I can't get out of bed. And he just fucking Linford Christie'd across the board, like. And then Kev went like, oh dear, I looked like I was a big trail of shit behind him, right? And the nurse, then he's in the toilet now, nurse come in, and Kev went, watch yourself, love. She looked, she went, all right, nice one. He's in there. So then a team of them come in with all the aprons on. And all I could think at the time was, oh, poor Get, I'd be mortified now. I wouldn't be able to come out of there, like, do you know what I mean? So they were in there for about half hour, cleaning him up and all that. So they all come out with all the stuff, fuck. I thought, oh, poor Get, he's going to be embarrassed coming out there now. The door come open. He didn't give a fuck. Strolling across the wall like a new man he was. Feet up, paper back up. He didn't care. I was like, fucking fair play. I would have been more. I was like, I would have been take me home. There's shit everywhere. Take me home. He didn't care. Like, it was hilarious. He didn't care.
Yeah, that next level, new life.
Oh yeah, he's like, oh, new art. Empty my bowels. I'm ready to go. He was on before me as well. Fucking hell. But yeah, it was. They got his goal in Bristol. To be fair, that's where I've had all my ops. I got nothing bad to say. Like,
yeah,
they are good as gold. It was a rough time, but like I say, it's inspired me now to just do what I want, and that's what I tell everybody now. Like before, people would annoy me and like, oh, why is my podcast not doing as well as that podcast? Or I want more listeners. Oh, they go. Now I'm like, good for them.
Yeah,
good for them. Even if. There we are. One of the boys I used to train boxing, Adam. He's like this table, super thick. We had him on the podcast as that once because he was in the car with me once.
Poor Adam, like if he listens to this.
Oh yeah, I'll text him and call him. I called him a lot worse. And he loves professional wrestling, WWF and all that, right? So we all used to take a mick out of him and stuff, and he was in love with Anthony Joshua and all. He wears all that, so he just constantly take a ribbon. Well, he was in the car with me once, and he was talking. Oh, I'd love to give wrestling a go. I said, "When you do it then?" Oh no, everyone to take a piss. I said, "So what, Dad? I'll probably be front of the queue taking a piss, but if you want to do it, do it. Have a go." He went, "Oh, I might give it a go," and he did. In all fairness, he went to wrestling school in Swansea, learned how to do it. We had him on the. He come up with the worst name ever. Called himself the Cardio King, right? Horrendous. But, and he's like an awkward kind of person. Lovely guy, but he's a kind of awkward person. But for 20 minutes in the ring, I mean, he was a superstar. Like, the kids were asking for photos with him. And I thought, good for you. You've given it a go. He don't do it no more, but I was like, you give it a go. For those 6 months, he was a superstar in his head. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's what I like. Same with everyone. Like, good for you. Give it a go. If you want to do something, do it. Don't care what anybody says, because you'll get more people trying to shoot you down than you will patting you on the back and going, good for you. But you just got to ignore them.
Mate, that was one of my biggest things about starting this. I was always worried, like, what are people going to think? What are people going to say? And that does happen. You do get them people, 100%. Yeah. I've had it, like, and I just think to myself, like, if I'd let that get in the way, I would have missed out on so much. I feel like I've grown so much as a person through doing it. And also, like, it made me recognize in myself, sometimes I have that outlook where I'm like, oh yeah, how the fuck are they doing better than me? How the fuck, like this, that, and the other. You get all these and then you just got to address it and say, I know where this is coming from. It's like a place like jealousy in it.
Yeah, of course it is.
And then it's like, what does that gain me? Absolutely nothing by thinking like that. I don't want anyone else to do badly. You just want to do better, innit? So you let your insecurities play out, and
that's the thing. Like, one of my favorite sayings is, comparison is a thief of joy.
Yeah, definitely.
Why? Just be happy for whatever it is. Don't get me wrong. Sometimes I think, oh, for fuck. Oh, I wish I was doing it. But then I think, well, if you really want to do it that much, you'll have a go.
Yeah.
Like, now with the clothes, for instance. Loads of ideas. I haven't got a fucking clue how to do them. Who I contact for this idea or that idea. But I suppose someone's done it before.
Yeah.
So if I really want to do it and push on, I'll find a way.
I also think as well, if you look at someone who's successful, they've done something really well, there may be an element of luck, which that's the part you're jealous of. But also, when you break it down what they've done, like now I've started this and I see big podcasts or whatever that are doing really well. I'm starting to look at things that they're doing that I'm not doing. And then you realise, like, they've actually put a lot of thought and a lot more work than the average person would have ever thought, or even I would have thought going into it.
Yeah, but like I said to you when I walked in, like, I've seen this online and stuff anyway.
Yeah.
And first thing I was like, oh, it's a cracking setup.
Yeah, cheers.
Fucking hell, we never had a setup like that. And we were going for 3 years.
Yeah.
The ambition is critical, boys. I'm going to set up like this. Like, this is, for me, and someone who's done a podcast and still does some, this is next level. This is next level. This is you doing.
Yeah,
good.
cheers, mate.
Because
Yeah.
I know it ain't cheap. None of this is free.
Oh, no, 100%, mate.
Exactly.
But, yeah, you put a lot in it. And
Of course you do. You don't get nothing back, really. Let's be honest.
No, up until this point, like, you know, I'm not in the hole for it, but you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a passion project. It's because you enjoy doing it. You enjoy conversations. You learn. I've learned loads of stuff. Like, when would I know him now. He's a mate. But when would I get a chance to sit down with Enzo McInally, a legit world champion boxer, and talk to him for 2 hours about, and he's telling me loads of stories and he's telling me things that I would never know otherwise. And like John Phillips, all right, I sort of know John anyway, but for him to come and sit down in his house, which is outstanding, by the way, in his house, and he's telling us stuff that we would never know. I would never know. Lily would probably, but insights to things. Like, I had Jack's father, Shaky, on the podcast, and that was probably my top 3. He was tremendous.
Same here, mate. Real interesting.
Yeah, he was giving us insights of why there isn't a UFC in Cardiff and things like that. And I'm thinking, I would never have known any of this or talked to someone as interesting as Shaky or Enzo or Jason Williams, Curtis, whoever. I would never have talked to any of these or known them. Or if I had gone, oh, that guy who went, oh, look, it's Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
And I took that to heart, which I would have done before. I don't know. Fuck, yeah. Like, I need to boost my, like, YouTube page. But part of me, again, is like, people, who am I to do that? Do you know what I mean? What's he doing?
Just got to go for it.
Exactly,
It does constantly get in your way until you think, there that voice is again. Get out my head, innit?
You just got to fuck it off.
Yeah.
And do what you want to do. And I'm a big, there's no doubt about it, I've changed in the last 8 years. You ask people, my mates, people I work with, whatever, I used to be proper aggy. I used to be not a horrible person, but just, they would call me miserable pretty much. Always pessimistic, always looking on, why is that on me? And then I thought, what are you doing? You're just wasting your life. Like, just do it. If you want to do it. Enjoy yourself. It could be a lot worse.
Yeah.
And just, this is awesome. I mean, this, to me, this will go far. Because you've put time, effort. Like me and Lily, let's be honest, we just half-assed it. We done it because it was a laugh, something to do. We could have, it was nothing stopping us from doing all this. Yeah. But we just never did. But you've taken that step, and that's why you'll probably be a lot more successful and turn the lights out was.
Well, I don't know, mate. I think, like, if you get going again, though, there's always avenues, isn't there?
It is, yeah. And, like,
You obviously had a listener base, like, didn't
we
you?
did, yeah. It was. I mean, we never rocked the world, but like I know Ambition is Critical now. Very good friends of ours. I've been on a couple of times, and Lily have, and good big supporters of us. In fact, I actually sponsor the podcast with
cool,
they've allowed me to do that, which is great. But they get some serious listeners now. You're talking, they've had like 300,000 downloads.
Yeah.
Like big numbers, and he was on TalkSport the other day and stuff like that. So we don't get nowhere near those. We never did. But the people we did have listened. We were in the tens of thousands. Don't get me wrong, which is still mind blowing to me, because when me and Lily started, I said to him, "We're gonna do this as if nobody listens."
That's the best way, isn't it?
Yeah, just do it as a conversation. Nobody listens. I don't care. I'm enjoying this, so let's do it like that. And we always had ongoing joke for like 3 years that we only ever had 4 listeners. That was it. But it was crazy how quick it snowballed from doing a podcast. Me and Lily just winging it. Within 3-4 months, we had a TV show, a proper TV show, as in it was on like, not like you get Made in Cardiff TV channel. It's Swansea Bay TV, and we had a Turn the Lights Out podcast sports chat show on Swansea Bay TV. Do you know?
That's wild.
We had Brett Johns on there. We had Dale Evans when he was fighting for the British title. We had Jay Harris on there. We had Ricky Wright, Lou Long. We had a legit like 6-episode series, and Gavin Gwynn on there. Dewi Powell from Boxing Wales. We had a legit TV show. It was me and Lily. I
couldn't believe what was going on. Could you?
Like, what are we doing? What's going on?
How the hell did this happen?
And they played it on repeat for a good 18 months. Same 6 episodes on every Thursday night. Lily's grandmother had her on series record, so she had the Brett Johns episode about 50 times. So you were on TV again, James. But it was, when you look back, it's crazy to think. They're all on YouTube now, those episodes, but looking back, it is absolutely crazy to think that we had a TV show.
Yeah.
And
it's the doors it can open, though, isn't it? It's not just doing it. It's like who's listening. You never know who's listening to you as well. Like, I see sometimes, don't get me wrong, my views on YouTube aren't the best. Facebook seems to be where the most traction is. So you get like 1,000, or sometimes I've had like 10,000 on Facebook sometimes on like one. And you're like, when you really think about like how many people that is,
it's a lot of
like
people.
You see that many people, like, I don't know, on a football field or something.
Yeah.
You'd be like, there's a lot of people.
Exactly.
You don't ever think of it because you, like you said, you compare yourself to other people and you think, well, they're getting hundreds of thousands, or they're getting. Yeah. But you can't do that.
I got obsessed by numbers at one point.
Yeah.
Like, we need to get more listeners, or how do I get more viewers? And in the end, I thought, I got to get back to doing it for fun.
Yeah.
Not because I want 10,000 views, 20,000 views, or this many downloads. In the end, I didn't care how many downloads we had. It was gradually growing because, like I say to Lily, our problem was consistency. You've got to be consistent.
Yeah.
You have to be, because people will just go, I've done it myself, listening to podcasts. Where's this one gone? They haven't been on for 2 weeks. I'll find something else. And you forget about that one then. And that's just the way it is. But that was our problem, is consistency. You have to keep on going. Got to. And then you'll see the numbers gradually go up. But I used to get a kick from, we've had 3 listeners from Turkmenistan this week. How good's that? Someone from Canada. Or
it's wild when you see it from a different country.
Crazy, isn't it? Yeah. And we were like, we were really big, and I don't know why. I know one guy that lived there from Swansea, but in the Bronx, in New York.
Yeah.
We had a big list. And Wembley, we were more popular in Wembley than we were in Swansea, which
how does it happen? Like,
I don't know anyone in Wembley.
Do you know what I find as well? It'll be people who really support me and share my stuff are people I don't know. Like the people I know, you think like would be doing that. Do you know what I mean? It's really weird. It's like small, I'm not saying it like they're all my mates and stuff, but they don't get half as heavily involved as people who I don't know.
Yeah, my mates, like, obviously the ones outside the fighting circle and the ones I've made doing stuff like this. Like, I would never have known you before.
No.
And same with Paul Daly, Dewi Powell, all that, Ricky Wright. You make mates that way, but then my mates from like school, they don't bother with this at all. They don't. They wouldn't. They don't care. They are more likely to be the ones that go, no, Joe Rogan's here.
Yeah.
Because they are sad and bored with their shit lives. They're going to be a painter and decorator. There's nothing wrong with that. But painting a wall all day, I'd rather smash my head through it than paint a wall all day, every day. And then they come home, see someone trying to do something that they get enjoyment out of, and they have first port of call rather than going, fair play, or getting inspired by that, is to try and take the piss or put them down.
Yeah.
Like, I'm surprisingly, I haven't had much negativity about the clothes. People go, oh, who's doing that for? Which I expected, but I didn't care because I just wanted clothes, basically.
They're nice, mate. I do like them.
I like I say, I try and make stuff that I would buy. And I think that's the best way to go about it, rather than thinking, what does everybody else like? And what's the new in thing? I've had loads of people going, have we got rash guards? Have we got this? Have we got that? Not yet, because I'm still learning what to do. I don't know what I'm doing. Totally winging it, same as most things I've ever done. But
yeah, it's like sourcing things and stuff. Innit? 'Cause
Yeah,
I was even looking to get like beanies for this. I got a load of beanies in, and it was like, where do you even go?
Exactly. Do you go to India? Are they going to rip me off? Do you go? If you go over here, they're going to be more expensive. You've got to buy 500 to get the price down.
Yeah.
And I mean, I've been lucky that I know the printer that does it. I'll give them a shout. Dragon Print Emporium. I know them, so I can get a deal going with them where I don't have to shell out thousands in stock initially. So at the moment, it's working well for both of us. But if it ever picked up, if it just carried on going as the way it is, I'd be more than happy, because they're gradually going out, and I'm designing clothes, and like, obviously summer's coming up, so now I got to think shorts, like a pair of shorts with this logo on over there.
Yeah,
be nice. What quality short do you get? Leggings for girls and on all that. My brain's constantly, like, my missus is like, I told you this yesterday about whatever, and I'm like, I have no recollection of that.
I'm exactly the same.
I'm thinking of shorts and a logo on the shorts, but now I've noticed, like, you were top. Nice, I like that. I'm walking, she's wearing Gymshark trousers, but then where have they put the logo? What have they used for that logo? Is it embroidered or is it just stuck on? And so I becoming obsessed.
Yeah,
but
it's
again,
good though, isn't it?
It is. Yeah,
I'm the same as you. I've had a million ideas, like, but I haven't. Well, you've obviously pulled the trigger on a lot more than me, but yeah, it was always that worry of like, oh, is that going to work? Because I always wanted to do clothes. I've always wanted to do tons of things. Do you know what I mean? It's like a weird thing, innit? I've
said for ages about a clothing brand. I've had people go who tried it. No, it don't work. It's harder than it looks, and I done it for 3 years and didn't make a penny out of it. It cost me money, and I'm like, all right, well, I was thinking maybe you've done it wrong. Do you know what I mean? And then I had a good communication with the print company. So, right, that will work for me at the moment. This current situation, it'll work for me. It's not a big outlay for me. And then I just got the website built and stuff. And it's gone on from there, and it's going well. It's just, I'm trying to get, I got this idea. I got a Jorge Masvidal idea. Then I got this one I haven't released yet, and I've got a Teddy Atlas t-shirt ready to go, but I always test print them. So I get one done for me on not very good quality t-shirt. Like, that is the good. But then just so I can see what it looks like.
Yeah.
So if I'm happy with it, then it can go on the website. Let's get it out and see if anybody wants it. But I've got like 4 or 5. The mug that's just come out on a t-shirt like this week. So it's. I thought I'd do mugs because they're easy to do, and the cheap little. It's a nice cheap little thing.
Oh yeah, I think I seen this one on your Instagram the other day.
Well, that's just come out on a t-shirt now, so. But it's just a bit of fun basically, and
bit of promotion, mate.
and like I said, I think it's just a cool idea, and it all it all stems from just going
for it.
Just go for it. If you've got an idea, I'd say just give it a go. What's the worst that can happen? All right, don't put your house, like, go, right, I'm going to bring out a new salad dressing. I'm going to remortgage your house. No, obviously be sensible. But if you've got an idea and it can be a passion project, you never know where it's going to go. Yeah. this might not go anywhere. I'm
Got some cool clothes out of it.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
You let yourself be creative for that amount of time,
Exactly.
didn't you?
The podcast, I say, didn't go anywhere. We had a TV show. We interviewed
Went
world
pretty
champions.
well, yeah.
It didn't go too bad considering it was two divs with a phone. That was it, and it never got really any bigger than that. But we done all right, and it was fun, and it's not over. It can still carry on. But yeah, I would definitely, if you've got ideas, just if your ideas result in stuff like this, go
do it.
Do it.
I got a funny story for you actually. I haven't said this story on you once yet. So you talked about ordering stuff from like Japan or China or whatever. At one point I was like, because like this was a couple of years ago, and I was thinking CBD, like it's only getting bigger. It's kind of before like a lot of athletes started to really incorporate it, and UK's really strict on it. You can't really advertise it on Facebook and stuff.
Yeah, they're a bit funny, aren't they?
Yeah. So I thought I'd order a load from China. That was my thinking. So,
all right, yeah.
So I ordered like, I don't know how much it was, maybe like 500 quid's worth. And that was a lot of CBD like from China because it's so cheap. So anyway, like you pay the taxes and whatever. It's getting shipped over. DPD, like you're getting it picked up from wherever it was flown in or whatever. And then like DPD lost my package. So I was like, fucking hell. So I contacted like the shipper, the supplier. They were like, we'll send another one. So they posted it. A day later then I got a letter through the door from like customs. And then they were like, it's illegal to ship this in because if you're like made in the UK, it can have 0.4% THC.
Yeah.
And it's legal.
Yeah.
But if you're shipping, it's got to be zero. Like completely zero.
And China not really the best for
they said to me it's fine, we send it over all the time. Like, but anyway, and I got this letter saying if you try to ship in anymore, you will be arrested. And you will be looking at like £100,000 fine and 10 years in prison or something. And I was like, I've got another one on the way. Like, I've already ordered the second one because I thought it got lost. So I was like shitting myself, and I had to ring up customs. But I think it was just like one of them scaremongering letters.
Yeah.
But I was literally like sweating for like a good hour, thinking I've already ordered another one. Like,
I bet the stuff you get from China gets you off your tits.
Probably,
guaranteed. I would have bought some off you, no problem.
Probably like 10% THC or something.
That's what me and Lily used to do. Well, me more than Lily is. We do a podcast. In the beginning, right? I don't think you can get the first series or first couple of episodes. The first episode we ever done was like I had notes and everything, and we were talking about boxing. We were watching boxing on S4C. Robbie Turley was fighting, and we were talking about the fight and analysing it, and really geeky. And in the end, you're talking like 15 episodes in, we just get stoned and just talk absolute bollocks. And that's how it went in the end. We just get blazed right up, and that would be that. And some of the best podcasts I've done were like that.
Yeah.
And like sometimes we had JRS come over my house and I ate a brownie about an hour before he come, right? So he's sitting like opposite me on my kitchen table, Lily sitting by there. And I'm in mid-conversation with him, and I've just gone blank. I forgot what I'm talking about. The brownie's kicked right in. I don't know what's going on.
Does he know you're in this
I warned him. I said, I just took a brownie. I said, they're not very strong, don't worry about it. So I'm talking to him, and I've just gone, and I just looked at Lily and gone, you're going to have to take over. This is like being recorded. It went out like this. I don't know what's going on. I just started giggling to myself, and there's a right knot. And we done you can't get it. The AIC boys, Paddy and Ryan, come on our podcast Christmas time, and we done an AIC versus a TTLO quiz. And Sean, our old producer, was the quiz master. And I had gummy bears, THC gummy bears, right? So I done 3, and I give Lily 2. It's a car crash. If you listen back to that, right? I'm laughing so much at one point, I'm nearly sick. I don't know what's going on. Just total nonsense. But that's probably why we didn't succeed.
I don't know, mate. Because some people are into watching that.
It was, they were some of our more popular ones because they were funny. Yeah. I haven't listened back to it, but it was alright.
I like this. I like to think I have a laugh and stuff, but it's more. It's like a kind of a serious vibe in it. Sometimes I would like
a professional setup. Yeah, definitely, it's a professional setup. It's nice. It's good, but it's it's relaxed. It's not like,
that's what I want it to be. I don't
Yeah.
want it to be like 2 interview style. Like, do you know what I mean? It just takes away from the whole. That's not podcasting, in my opinion. Is it?
Sometimes it's hard because hopefully I've let conversation flow. Hopefully,
Oh yeah, definitely.
but you get some where it's like pulling teeth.
Oh, I've had a couple of them as well.
Yeah, and you're like, right, damn. So I was training camp being and the generic shit questions that everybody asks, and they give you the same response. Like, yeah, it's been good. Yeah, really hard. Yeah, and that's it. And I'm like, oh fuck. Like, those ones are tough. But when you get someone like say Shaky, Jack's old man, come on, and he was Owen Elliott, come on. It was over Zoom and everything, but it was great. And we made a joke, because obviously it wasn't long after he filled Lily in on Cage Warriors. So we made a joke about it, and Lily was like, awkward. But it was good.
It's when you start talking about the weather, that's when it's like going downhill.
Yeah, I know.
Well, we talked about it before we come in, but it was snowing, so...
It is bonkers up here, mine. It is. It's a nice drive up here, mine. I used to work up here quite regularly, but never come this way. But yeah, it's quite nice up there. But
so yeah, it didn't take too long today, actually. Was
it an hour?
Yeah.
It's not too bad. It was all right. So, yeah, but like I say, first question, where did you get that from?
That was, if you strip that off, I think it's got Beck's on it. It was like one which hangs off the side of a pub.
Right.
My mate works down in like Homemakers in Abergavenny, which is a place to take stuff from people's houses when they have house clearances. Shout out to Reese. Cheers, Reese. he got that one for me, and then I got it stickered up like.
Oh, is that what it was? It's just a stick, because that is.
Yeah,
cool.
I got Chris Pryor Graphics. Then is another chap. He lives over, his unit's over in Langattock, and he put a sticker on there for me. He said it was an absolute nightmare because of the shape of it.
Right. Oh, the dome itself.
Yeah.
So where's the name? Like.
The name. Sorry. I thought
No. I was on about the light, but where does the name come from?
Well, it's, to be honest with you, it's kind of like, it's based off a play on words on two different podcasts, like Joe Rogan Experience. And I used to watch a lot of London Real, right? Brian Rose. I don't know if you ever heard of that. That's quite a good one. Well, I say it's kind of changed now. He's actually campaigning to be the mayor of London at the minute.
All right.
This Brian Rose is. But he's got like, I say rags to riches. He's always rich. He was like an investment banker over in New York, but he got addicted to heroin.
Oh, nice.
And but he's moved over here. He's like proper well-to-do bloke. That was kind of both of their podcast names mixed into one. And I also thought like I want to get like sort of real people in and share their experiences, try and benefit other people. Because when I was it probably like 5 years ago now, 4 or 5 years ago, I had like a seizure, and that kind of stopped. I couldn't drive for a year. I couldn't do the job I was doing anymore because I was like climbing poles for the electricity board.
Right.
And just changed my life, basically. Everything like which you thought was okay turned out it wasn't okay.
Yeah.
And watching podcasts for me, then listening to people who've been through, like, obviously that's minor compared to a lot of people compared to what you've been through, and hearing people share their experiences, it was like really a trigger for me to like get myself out of a hole. And it was like, if they can do it and they've been through like 10 times worse than me, why am I on my ass not doing things I know I should be doing, getting myself out this rut, like this, what about me? Like you were saying earlier, just trying to get out that mindset.
It's easy to fall into.
Yeah.
So easy.
Oh, and you feel like people don't understand, they don't get it, they don't feel sorry. Yeah, everyone's got their own shit going on. You need to take control of your own life and sort it out for yourself.
Yeah.
So listening to other people did that for me, and that's what made me want to start this, to be honest.
Some of the most inspiring things, I listen to Jocko podcast a lot, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I know he's been on Rogan and that. But one of them was with Dakota Meyer. He won the Medal of Honor.
Yeah, I've seen that. He
was on Rogan, but on Rogan it's nowhere near as in depth as it is on Jocko. It's on for like 3.5 hours. I've listened to it like 4 times.
Yeah,
it's that good. It is the single best thing I've ever listened to. I couldn't stop. It was one of them. I was in work with my headphones in, and I couldn't stop.
Over and over.
Yeah, it was tremendous, and I it's inspiring. It's a sad story. It's very sad, but some of those ones you only get from podcasts or YouTube interviews, where you think, do you know what? It ain't that bad. I can do better than what I'm doing.
It'll change your life.
Stop fucking moaning.
I think one podcast could change your life if it's the right one.
Exactly. I remember the first ever podcast I listened to was Joe Rogan interviewing Shannon Briggs.
Yeah.
First one ever, and I couldn't stop listening. I was walking to the gym when we were training the amateur boxers, and I got in the gym and I kept listening to it until I couldn't anymore. I took it out, but I couldn't wait to walk home to put it back in.
Triggers you, like, doesn't it?
Yeah, something just happened, and I was like, I like this. I like this long format chatting because you get to know the people. You get to know. I mean, watch Parkinson or Graham Norton or Parkinson. How old am I? Look, fucking he's dead, isn't he? Or Graham Norton or something. You get them for 2 minutes. They tell a little story that they've told 9 times on 9 other chat shows.
Can't relate to it, can you?
Exactly, and that's that. Right, you might have a little laugh. Oh, that was quite funny, but you don't learn about the person. You don't learn about what they've been through or what they struggle, and you can't get inspiration from that then. And I've listened to so many now. Some have made me laugh. Some have made me sad. Some have inspired me to like, fuck, I can do better. No doubt about it. And I'm not trying to be the next Gary V or do you know what I mean, anything like that. But you can do whatever you want to do to a certain extent. I mean,
I think so as well. Yeah. So it's how much you're willing to put in and how much.
Yeah. How much you want to do it. How much. I'm not saying like I'm not selling cups and fucking it's not going to change my life, and I don't expect it to. That's the main thing. I've realistic expectations of if you've got a passion project or something you really want to do. Have realistic expectations or quite low, because if you set them low, they can only anything above it is a bonus.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So
do it for you as well, isn't it?
Exactly.
No one else. Like
I don't really. My life is work, home, gym, and work again probably.
Yeah,
well, that's all I do pretty much, and then I'd sprinkle that with a bit of podcasting where I get to go and speak with someone other than my missus or my work colleagues for a couple of hours, have a laugh, and then or come home and I'll go say to my missus, I was speaking to a world champion earlier on, or not that guy in the kitchen earlier on. He's a Commonwealth boxing champion.
Yeah,
and he was in our house. That's pretty fucking cool.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's little things like that.
That's nuts, isn't it?
That if you just listen to everybody, and there's a lot of people, and most of the time the people who will be most negative are the ones closest to you.
Definitely.
I'm lucky that my missus is like, just do what you want. I don't care.
Yeah.
She's just like, yeah, whatever. As long as you're
my
happy.
missus is the same as well.
As long as you're happy, then crack on. But some of you mates or family will, I've been kind of lucky. Mates more than family. I'm like, see if I can do it.
Thing is, though, you find yourself like it's with you as well. You're bothering with all these fighters. I bet none of them look at it.
No,
that
for
way,
them,
because they're in that world, aren't they, as well?
But a lot of them, and I don't know if you noticed, they don't know how to utilize these things like podcasts, interviews, YouTube, because this now, if name out of the air, Gavin Gwynn, right? If he comes on you, a lot of people already know him because he'll share it and stuff and go, oh, Gavin's on it. But then you are going to have people that just like your show, regardless of who come on it. And they're going to go, oh, I'll have a look at this guy. It's free promotion.
Definitely.
Sitting down for 2 hours and we could chat about something you like. Gavin comes on, you're going to talk about boxing, talking about his experiences, etc. People are going to learn about him and go, I like him. He sounds like a nice guy, because he come on my podcast before on a TV show. And when he went, I thought, what a fucking nice guy.
Yeah.
Really, I met him once or twice, but sat down with him. Easy interview. Like, flowed. He was really funny, chatty. And I thought, do you know what? I like this guy. He's a good guy. He drove all the way down from, where does he live? Fucking Merthyr or something. And he was really, really nice guy. And I thought, I hope he does well. You know, keep an eye on him. And we've kept in touch since. But people will, sportsmen or women or whatever, they think they're doing you a favour by coming on you.
Yeah.
So, oh, all right, yeah, come on. They're a brand. If they're at that level, they're a brand. They need to promote themselves. Because like I say, it all goes on ticket sales unless you're at the very top.
Yeah, definitely, mate.
So you were doing them a favour by leaving them come on your show.
I know, like, obviously for them it's giving up their time, innit? But the work is actually, in the back end of doing this as well, and you know, do you know what I mean? It's
they're giving up their time, but and don't get me wrong, I say it. There's nothing more valuable in life than your time. Nothing is more valuable than your time.
Oh, 100%, yeah.
Or to me, my time, because if I'm wasting time on somebody who doesn't appreciate that, could be spent with my kids.
Yeah.
So that's the way I look at it. Like, there's nothing more valuable than my time, because that's something you never get back.
Yeah, definitely.
Once that hour's gone, it's gone.
And you're a human, they're a human. That's the way I look at it. When I first started, I used to get a little bit nervy about like who was coming in. Like one of my biggest ones, which is like not a regret, but I wish I had been in now or again in the future, was like Andy Powell, because I was a little bit like, it was quite early on. I was looking at him a bit like, oh Christ, what's he doing here?
I still look at everyone I interview.
Do you know what I mean?
I still look at them like, oh fuck no.
Yeah,
I'm still like that. No, but yeah, it's hard to get past.
Get out your own way, haven't you?
Yeah,
I was in my own way in that, and I was like nervous, and I had loads of shit in the YouTube comments about it, like, oh shit interview, blah blah. But like, don't ignore that. I just say thank you to them all. I say thanks for watching. Have a good day. Like, just hit them with positivity, and it'll all bounce off then. But like, I know myself that didn't go well. Not that it didn't go well. We had a good laugh. Like, he actually said it was one of the best ones he's been on because he was so chilled.
Just take that. Take that.
Yeah,
take that
exactly.
and run with it. Don't worry about the fucking assholes.
But I know now it'd probably be a bit different. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like, it's all development. And I look at like probably the first 100 episodes are going to be like your apprenticeship.
Of course they are.
No, that's what. It's the same as anything. Like, the first t-shirt you design probably compared to the ones you're going to design in like 5 years' time. Yeah.
The quality will become better.
You learn so much along the way.
Yeah. There's loads of different aspects to it that you don't even like realize right now. Whereas in a year or 2 years, you were going to look back and go, oh, what the fuck was I doing there?
I'm like that now 6 months ago. Like,
exactly. And it moves that quick. But yeah, it's just as long as you enjoy. That's what I say to anyone. Now, even with people, I've taken it from podcasts, listening to them all day, every day. I try, if people would annoy me, it'd bother me. Like, somebody in work or whatever, I'd be, oh, he's doing my fucking head in. But now, I'd be like, oh, lazy prick or whatever. But now, I'm like, leave him to it.
Same.
It doesn't really affect me, so crack on.
It only affects you if you let it, innit?
Yeah, and it's just like, I don't know what, I'm not going to get bothered. One of the boys, he always rings me up in work, and he's like, what's happening? Is that right? Oh, yeah, it's fucking shit today, Monday. Fucking hate Monday. You know? Have you rung me just to fucking moan? Because I don't want it. I'll go, right, ring me when you're happier, and I'll put the phone down. I don't want you ringing me to fucking moan to me for half an hour, telling me how shit your life is. I don't care. I'm sorry, but, do you know what I mean? Everyone got shit going on.
Yeah, make it better.
Yeah, if it's bothering you that much, I will go, are you all right? But you just moaning because it's Monday. It's Monday for everybody. You're alive. Shut up.
Yeah.
You're fucking alive. Appreciate
Every week rolls into one now at the minute for me, I swear. Like, I don't know.
Have you been furloughed on that, have you? Or?
No, I'm working from home though. So.
Are you?
Yeah, well, most days anyway. I go in like a day or two a week, but
it hasn't really affected me because, like I say, I do commercial refrigeration, so I'm in the supermarket.
Yeah.
So I've been in there from day one, same as usual, every day.
Doing that key work in Sen?
Always. I did it. I caught it in December though.
Do you?
Yeah, it was like, I'm not a big, my favourite thing to do, right? It's childish as fuck. I'm nearly 35, but in the night, not every night, sometimes I'll get relaxed, see?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think everyone knows what that means by now.
And I'll go on Facebook, Wales Online, right?
Oh, yeah.
Because they just absolute garbage, Wales Online. And it's always something negative about COVID this, COVID that. So I'll just go on the comments. And there was something the other day, like hundreds of people dancing, enjoying themselves.
On Cardiff or...
Yeah, something like that. So I just commented, oh, that's terrible, isn't it? People actually enjoying themselves after the year of unnecessary not lockdown. I just left it. I just do that, drop that in there and just go back and just watch them lose their shit. That's my favourite thing to do. I don't even reply to the comments. They're all calling me everything. You're a disgrace. unnecessary.
You're trying to kill my nan.
Oh, I know, yeah.
That's like the worst, isn't it?
If you worried, stay at home. Furloughed. If you were that worried, keep the furlough process going. But the world has got to carry on. I'm sorry. This isn't as deadly as they thought. I'm not turning this into like coronavirus podcast. It's not as deadly as they thought. This time last year, they thought it was going to kill 2 million people. I haven't even killed 10% of that.
No.
Nowhere near. No, people are like, cancer treatments are getting postponed. Cancer diagnosis are going, they're being missed, and people are dying. There's people losing businesses. There's people losing homes. Nobody cares about this. Some woman was giving me shit going, oh yeah, how terrible. You got to isolate with your TV and everything. I'm thinking, what about the businesses that are closed? What about the people who haven't been able to make any money at all and have kids and don't know where the next paycheck's coming from? What about, what? So just because you get to sit in the house and watch the chase? Yeah. It's all right.
I think a lot of people as well, if they are furloughed, they're getting government money. Maybe wrong, yeah. Whether, like, I think a lot of it is based on laziness. Personally, I think, like, if you're in that position where you're lucky enough to be, it's easy to stay at home,
exactly,
isn't it?
Yeah.
Whereas, if, like you said, if you're struggling and everything's going tits up and your life's going down the drain through no fault of your own, imagine being in that position.
I understand the fear, right? Initially, because nobody knew what was going on. I was, like, in work and I was like, oh, fuck.
Wipe everything down.
Yeah, we were washing, we're like fucking wiping my hands every 5 minutes, and nobody knew because it was going to kill everybody. But then as it went on and they realised like ventilators are actually killing people, let's take them off them, and they realised it's not as deadly as it is, then I'm like, well, why are we still doing this? The flu kills just as much, if not more. Nobody gives a fuck about the flu. Nobody cares about the flu.
I think as well, like Miami and Texas, they've both opened up and they've been open up for a while now.
Yeah, the whole of Florida is.
Yeah, and it's like,
and nothing's
their
spiked.
rates are no different to what ours are. But
Exactly.
we're stuck inside, low in our immune system, not getting any vitamin D or exercise.
Exactly.
The one thing that's really pissed me off, I shared it there, I don't know how far it's gone, but there was like, obviously the gyms aren't open until May time, and I think that's only one-to-ones then, isn't it?
Limited amount in the class, and it's absolute bollocks.
I've seen the petition online earlier. They rejected a load of petitions because there was already one. They tried to keep it to one, like in the Senate. The petition was for obviously opening the gyms for mental and physical health. It had like 1,200 signatures. It needed 10,000. But like, then at the top of the page is saying, what date are we today? Sorry, just 6th of April. By the 7th, if this hasn't got 10,000 signatures by the 7th of April, then it won't be accepted because we're voting for the elections for the Senate by May. So now, in the next month, it's guaranteed there's no way there's going to be no movement because they're not even going to look at it unless it's got 10,000 by midnight tonight, which
so it was highly unlikely.
I was sharing it like I had earlier and tagging everyone. But I don't,
it's what blows my mind, right, is people on my Facebook, right, are predominantly from fighting or that. So there's a lot on there going open the gyms. Obviously, I'm part of a team coaching a gym, so it's in my interest to have the gym open. But there's so many more people going, when the pub's fucking open. I'm thinking, hang on. You worried about a pub being open? You can go to Tesco's, buy a crate and drink it in your house for half the price. Why don't you think your mental health is more important? Your physical health is way more important. And like, I sound like a fucking Joe Rogan parrot, but it's true. There's been nothing about immune system. Joe Rogan was spouting about vitamin D 6 months ago.
Yeah.
And the government picked it up 4 weeks ago. Now, 6 months ago, I heard Rogan and Rhonda Patrick.
Same.
And I was like, straight on Tesco's, vitamin D, misses, take that every day. Kids, vitamins. I was taking thousands of milligrams of vitamin C every day. I was taking a big chunky about 4 of them. I was just chewing them like sweets. Can't get.
How much cheaper would it have been for the government to not do the track and trace, not do the vaccine, not do the lockdown,
and give everybody vitamins,
and to send everyone vitamins, like enough? Because it would have cost them absolutely pennies. Like, it may cost us like £10 to get a bottle of vitamin D or whatever, but for them, it's going to cost them like 10p.
But what I don't get, right, is it's proven that UV light kills coronavirus. Go outside.
Shut the sunbed shops, like.
I know. Everyone goes, yeah, but skin cancer. You can't have it all. You got to, know what I mean? You've got to roll the dice at some point. Do you want coronavirus?
You're going to die, like, you. Everyone's going to die. It's the only thing guaranteed.
Open them. Go out to the beach. Go out in the sun. Everybody outside. Everybody outside. I understand originally it was lock it down. It was probably the right thing to do initially. But then when all the stats come out, it's nowhere near as deadly as they made out. It's like something like 0.06% of people will die. And they are not even solely of coronavirus. Because if you have it within 28 days, they put it down as a which blows my mind. How are people still accepting lockdowns and, yeah, we got to stay in, when if you go through your windscreen and rub your face away on the tarmac, but you had COVID 2 weeks ago, it goes down to COVID death. Nothing to do with the fact that you've just ate off the curb.
They even admitted outside number 10 on Sky News that they've been classing even further back to like 60 days for some people.
It's a joke, honestly.
It
blows my mind. That's a manipulation of the numbers, clearly. So
it's lying. It's 100% lying. It's like saying I had a cold 6 weeks ago. That's what killed me.
Yeah, it's manipulation of the numbers to fit in line with what they want to do.
There's got to be, in my opinion, conspiracy theorist or not, whatever, people can think what they want. There's definitely some money behind this which is making a difference to someone.
Do you know?
Like, there's something going on. Like,
me and Lily were on about this, right? I think we might have said on a podcast or it was on Twitter or something, why we believe that this is happening. There's an ulterior motive. There's no doubt about it. There is no doubt. Lily was, this is obvious, he was thinking that it was because the royal family are nonsense, right? Prince Andrew and all that.
It's probably not wrong, like.
But well, that was part of his thinking. But I'm still, to a certain extent, believe it's because they want a cashless society.
Yeah.
But cash doesn't exist anymore. And if you think about it, there's no tax evasion. You could write off the debt because then it's just imaginary numbers floating through the air on a computer screen. It doesn't actually have a physical, doesn't actually mean anything.
Yeah.
And everybody will forever be accounted for. Like, you couldn't run away, just like if you want to disappear. You couldn't run away because you'd be using your card to buy stuff. So they go, oh yeah, Joe's up in Edinburgh. He was in the spa yesterday at Barbers One.
Yeah.
You can't go anywhere. You don't need track and trace. You don't need chips in your arm, like everyone's saying. Cashless society would mean they can track every single place you go because you've got to use your card. There's no such thing as cash. There's no money under the mattress for when I retire.
No. They
tax all your savings then. It's all gone. They'll earn more money, but like people have argued with me, oh yeah, why would they get themselves in trillions of pounds worth of debt? Short-term loss for long-term gain.
Oh yeah, imagine the 20% they're going to get off everybody that they never had before.
Every penny in the world. Is no, oh, I went to see my grandfather yesterday, he gave me 20 quid. There's no, oh, there we are, boy. There's a pound, go up shop. There's nothing. There's nothing of that
no more
now.
paper buys.
There's nothing. Yeah. Every penny in the world will be accounted for, and you can't do anything without people knowing where you are. There's no and I still believe that.
Oh, there's an element.
Yeah, because it's worldwide as well, and it benefits every government in the world.
Right now, there's no reason for us to be locked down, in my opinion.
No,
so
none.
There's something else. Like this, talking about, we want to get the vaccine rolled out, this, that, and the other. But like, man, it just doesn't add up. This definitely, I think in 20, 30, maybe 100 years' time, they'll be looking back at this in school on history class and going,
oh, this is the biggest fuck up in human history. Last, I don't know, 100 years.
Since the World Wars, like, innit?
Yeah, even then, like, we had to defend ourselves, so.
That's what people think this is, though, in a way, isn't it? They're like getting on like sides, isn't it? It's becoming like a war.
It is now, yeah.
Online about like, you're trying to kill my grand compared to I need to stay healthy. And it's like,
it is, yeah.
People are
like, don't get me wrong, right? My father has severe asthma. So there's my brother has gone, I'm one end of the scale, my brother's the other end of the scale. It's like, we can't go and see Dad, we'll kill him. I'm like, and my father is like, fuck this lockdown, I've had enough. He's like, fuck this now. So I'm like, yeah, I don't know what. I don't give a fuck no more. Fuck Drakeford. He's beyond this guy. Like, when he said about this,
that. Fuck Drakeford.
yeah, clip it and just loop it. When he said about the gyms, this Kent variant, right? That's another thing that makes me laugh. All these different variants now. You got a Kent variant. So when the coronavirus decided to pop up in Kent and decided to change, but he said, I can't open the gyms because I'm anxious that this Kent variant will spread like wildfire in the gyms. I'm like, hang on. Where's the scientific evidence for that? Don't just shut it down because you were anxious about it.
Yeah.
Have some scientific proof. Like, we can't because we believe it'll, whatever, it fucking thrives in sweat. I don't know. But there's no scientific, he's just going off his feelings. It's a power trip for him.
Yeah, I hated it when they were talking about, like, this one's going to spread around the gym. The gyms haven't been open for months for you to even have data on it.
And have these people, have Mark Drakeford ever been in an MMA gym, right? They're some of the cleanest places you'll ever go in.
Yeah.
Those mats, walls, cage, ring, whatever, is disinfected twice a day.
No one's
if
getting
not
infected more than anything, isn't it?
Because you get staph, you get a ringworm, all these things, because your face is rubbing on the mat and someone's smushing you into the floor or the cage. Everything gets cleaned twice, maybe more. Disinfectant every single day. They're some of the cleanest places you can go. Cleaner than your kitchen. Not yours, but Drakeford's. I say Drakeford. Yeah. But no, he's dictating on something he has no idea about. Not a clue. He hasn't got a clue about the gym. Look at the state in him. Plus his son's a nonce.
Yeah, that too, yeah. It's true, isn't it?
Yeah, he is. He's in jail for rape and being a nonce. And he's running the country. He can't even bring up son. I know this is like, you probably cut all this. No.
I don't cut shit, mate. I said this to the JPH as well. He said, oh, yeah, cut that bit out. I said, mate, I ain't cutting anything.
No, I've tweeted, as childish as it is, I've tweeted Drakeford loads of times. If he puts something up, I'm like, fuck off, you old prick. Or,
so, it's Joe and Jim Smith and Drakeford, like, they are fucking arch enemies, are they, on Twitter?
I don't mind. Compared to Drakeford, Joe and Jim are my best mates.
Angels.
Compared to Drakeford. No, it's just, it blows my mind that people are still buying into... I had coronavirus Christmas time, and when it first started, I know you said just now about everyone's on teams against each other. When it first happened, because obviously I was out all the time in the supermarket, everyone was nice. Everyone was like, all right, like, get out the way for them, and everyone was nice because everyone felt, oh fuck, we'd all fuck together, yeah. So nobody was like getting mad. There was no masks then. It was no. Yeah. What are you doing? What are you doing? Everyone was nice. Like, all right, how are you? Oh, grab that, blah, blah. Everyone was in the same shit together, but now there's no need of that. Whereas some people are still buying into it when there's no evidence to that's provided.
Me, like, innit?
I had it. I had it. Yeah, no, I seen that on the YouTube. I was like, oh, look, coronavirus, careful.
Yeah, to be honest with you, it was kind of been put up a while back, and I just haven't taken it down like that.
But I had it Christmas time, and when it first started, the NHS, I spoke to the NHS because of my condition, they said, stay off work for 3 months. I said, who the fuck's paying my mortgage in? So I can't do that. Are you mad? I said, no, I'm all right. I'm fine. So I was just going to work as normal. But then when I caught it in December, I was rough. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to go, that's fuck. No, I was bad. I had every symptom you could imagine, and ones they don't even tell you about that I found on the internet afterwards that people have had. I was rough. I was in bed for about 8 days, but I never thought I was going to die. It was like having the flu, basically. Like, I've had the proper... No, people go, oh, you had the flu. No, you've had a cold. If you've had the proper flu...
I feel like you're going to die anyway.
Yeah, you're in bed and you are rough. Can't do anything. And I was rough, but I could get out of bed and I go downstairs, but then I feel a bit dizzy and I go, oh, fuck, I'm going to pass out. But go back to bed. And then I think, oh, I feel all right again now. And then I'd go downstairs and I'd be like, oh, no, I'm tired. Fuck this. So, yeah, I was rough, but never thought, I'm going to die. And I'm not in great shape. I'm fucking in worst shape I've ever been in. You know what I mean? And one of the massive factors is obesity in this. Like, you look at Wales Online. Perfect example. I'll stop out it. Perfect example is said about a family of 3, all in hospital over Christmas with COVID. The daughter never come home, right? She died. She was like 26 or something. That's bad.
Stone, I thought you were going to say then.
Well, fuck. I clicked on the actual article and it showed a picture. Don't get me wrong, it's bad that she died. I'm not making light of the fact that somebody died, right? But
no, definitely.
you've got to take into consideration this woman didn't have a neck, right? Going up the stairs would have fucking killed her probably.
Yeah.
She was fucking huge. She was the size of a fucking fridge. And that's you've got to take, like, that's why it's not COVID didn't kill her. It didn't help.
She was compromised, wasn't she?
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I say, she was fucking huge.
Yeah.
And my sister's a nurse, and I argue with my sister all the time about it. She's like, oh, fuck, he's off again. I'm like, have you read anything, right? Perfectly healthy, no underlying conditions, 17-year-old or 20-year-old has died purely because he caught COVID or she caught COVID. No. And she go, yeah, there have been. All right, there might be minute.
5, like.
If you're lucky. It
don't
don't happen.
It's that old thing of, like, they had a heart attack on the football field. It happens once every 10 years. Like, it's a one-off.
But that'll be from an underlying condition they didn't know they had.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
True, yeah.
So, people who are dying of purely of COVID, it's point whatever %. It doesn't warrant this fucking lockdown. It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
Simple as that. And it's as black and white as that for me as well. It's absolute bollocks.
It's like, you know, like when you see people in jails and they always talk about how, like, solitary confinement fucks with your head. It changes the person you are. After, and the longer it goes on, obviously the worse it is, and you can't come back. Obviously this is different. Everyone's still getting out, seeing people to a degree.
Not everyone, because there are some people who are totally, like, buying into this, and there are 80-year-old people who haven't been outside the door for a year. Or haven't seen anyone because they petrified someone's going to cough on them.
Yeah.
Like, it's
not reality.
It's not, no, and it's sad. Like, people who go, oh, yeah, why can't you just abide by the lockdown rules? Because people like that will die because they haven't had no communication with anybody.
Yeah.
It's like, when a baby's born, it has to be cuddled by a human. If a baby's born, it's just put down and left, it'll die. It's called failure to thrive. It needs a human interaction. Humans need interaction, but that's the species we are.
Definitely, mate. And, like, the masks as well. Like, for me,
that's bollocks, that is.
Don't get me wrong. Like, I do wear when going to shop. It's more out of
for the other
consideration
people.
for other people.
I had a choice. I won't wear one. I wouldn't give a fuck.
No, same, yeah. And I'm like, fucking hell. I feel like it's just a massive divide between people, like you said, in the supermarkets and whatever. It just, you know, like when you're in a car and you're driving down the road and you have road rage or whatever. I haven't had it for a while. Like, I've chilled out a bit, but used to have it. It's because there's no accountability. I feel like the mask is a similar thing. It's like,
yeah, you're locked inside your own little shell.
You're in your own little thing, yeah. And like the mask as well, it just takes away that personalization of everything. So you don't give a fuck about anyone because they're not like, it just takes away all the emotion of everything, doesn't it?
But even I've found myself, I haven't said, I would never say to anyone, I don't know, fuck. Because if they said, you could not wear a mask, fine, I won't. If I had a choice, I'd whip it off and that'd be that. Because if you were worried about coronavirus and you wear a mask, how the fuck am I going to infect you if you've got a mask on? Why do we both need to be wearing masks?
Yeah, totally.
That don't make sense to me, right? But some people, I haven't said it to them, but they wear a mask with their nose hanging out.
Oh, man.
And I'm like, what the fuck is the point? Is there any point? You might as well just wear it on your fucking ears.
For me, it's the people who are in the car on their own wearing one.
Oh, that winds me up.
I'm like, what are you doing?
A lunatic. I see them all the time. I'm up and down the motor every day, and there's lunatics just totally on their own. Who the fuck are you going to infect by there?
I know. Unless you've got someone in the boot. Like, what are you up to? Like, maybe that's the worry. There's loads of people rolling around, people in their boot.
It's bonkers. Like, these people, I'm like, these masks, it says on there, they don't keep out the particles. They lower the amount of particles, but then they come out and say that it's airborne now. Well, these aren't airtight masks.
For me, it's the breathing. I just feel it's got to affect you. Because, like, if I'm in the supermarket for a certain amount of time, like, wearing a mask, I'm like, fuck, you feel claustrophobic, like, you know.
I got to wear one, and the ones work give us are just like, I don't know what they are. They're not masks. They're fucking cloth with a bit of elastic on, with the badge on, the company badge, right? So they weren't breathable. They were like fucking tracksuit. That material, to be honest, right?
Yeah.
On your face. So you're breathing on that. It ends up, it's soaking wet. It smells. And then I go and work in a freezer that's -23. And because I'm breathing and the moisture's rising out of my eyelashes are starting to freeze over. My eyes are starting to freeze. I'm like, oh, what the fuck? It's not functional. Do you know what I mean? I seen, it's got to be April Fool's, but I seen, I think it is April Fool's. Might have had me. Spain are making masks compulsory when you go swimming and sunbathing. I thought, no, it's got to be a
There's got to be in it.
It's got to be a wind
They were
up.
talking, mind, about if you leave your house, you've got to wear a mask at one
They're
point.
going to get fucked.
There's no way I'm walking around my garden wearing a mask. Like,
No. I worry from the kids. Like, I got a 7-year-old, a 2-year-old, and a 1-year-old, right? My boy, 1-year-old, was born in just before they literally, like, shut the hospitals. I was allowed in the room and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, a week later, the fathers weren't allowed there or nothing. So I just made it. And they are going to grow up, unless this fucks off relatively soon, they're going to grow up thinking masks are normal. And that worries me because, there's, like you say, there's no interaction. It's all in your eyes then.
Yeah.
Have you tried saying hello to someone just with your eyes? You look like a fucking lunatic.
Yeah, yeah. You just see your mask go up. Like,
yeah. It's ridiculous. And when you, like, if we had a mask now without this divider, I'm in work and we talking, and then, what do you say? You end up pulling your mask on, having a fucking chat, and then popping it back up to go to the car. That makes sense.
Nah.
It's pointless.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But look,
Yeah.
I've ranted for long enough about
No, it's all
coronavirus.
good, mate. It's all good.
No, but no, I appreciate you letting me come on.
Yeah, no, thanks for coming on, mate. I think I don't even know if the cameras will still be rolling. The battery's probably dead or like, but
Sorry, mate.
no, it's all good, mate. Appreciate you coming on, and people
awesome.
get over, check out the clothing brand.
CombatSportCollective.com if you can. Be much appreciated. Have a look. I mean, you don't have to buy anything. Don't feel obliged.
You got to.
Yeah.
I'll put a link in the description.
Oh, that'd be awesome. Yeah, thank you, mate. Top
Yeah,
man.
no worries. Yeah, thanks
Awesome.
for coming on, mate.
Cheers, Joe. Top man.
Experience Real Podcast.